All right, all right, all right. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Octane Online Racing European Sprint Series. And we're in Misano. The race itself is going to be at night, and it is going to be so sick, let me tell you. I raced here literally just on Tuesday, and it was one of the best races I've ever had. So if that has anything to live up to, this is going to be phenomenal. But you know who I am, Ben Regan McConnell, and joining me as per usual is my boy himself. It's Mark Hornbadger. Mikkel John, how you doing?
Oh, I'm really excited to get going with this. This is going to be such a good race here. Just been watching the practice session there, and everyone is out exploring the limits of the track, shall we say. So it's going to be good to see who can maintain and keep it together for a really quick one.
We are already into qualifying, so we're not going to faff about. We're going to get straight on in and go right on board with... In fact, you pick someone. Who are we going to go on board with for the first lap?
Mr. Hakola.
Okay,
He was so quick in the practice there, and I saw him do a practice pit entry, and my god, he got so close to the wall. It was inch perfect.
He annoys me, right? He's my teammate for the endurance series, which if you guys haven't signed up, go and do so. There's one for every single region of the world, so you are not missing out. But yeah, he's my teammate, and we did a bit of practice last night for Laguna Seca. He infuriates me how he can do so few laps and be absolute god tier, and I'm just sweating lap after lap after lap, struggling to match his pace. But you know, we're going to be good. He is going to be incredible, and there's no Darren King here tonight, so you know usually he's the favorite to sort of take pole or whatever. Now I've got a feeling this is going to be incredibly tight and incredibly tense. We also have a new driver joining us today. It is, I'll say new. He's raced in the Rookie Series. If you've been watching my streams, then you'll know him already. It's Espen Hansen, or Fortune, as we also know him. He's been my rival throughout the entirety of Rookie Series. He has been my rival. He's definitely Sprint Series pace, as in near the front of that grid as well. So, be warned. The only thing to think about is he is in the BMW, and I pre-warned him, don't do it because it's terrible, and he went, it'll be hilarious. And he regretted it immediately.
Well, you know, he's not got many races that he'll need to live with his mistake. He's, you know, joining in halfway into the season, so, like, it's fine. But yeah, having a look, obviously King not being here, as you say, should make it tighter. But to be honest, I think my boy Yonte is going to be about 2.5 tenths clear in front. I think he's going to nab pole by a fair distance.
I completely agree. I actually genuinely think Yonti is such a fast driver, and for somebody who doesn't like hardcore sweat this game, he genuinely has so much potential to unlock it. He's absolutely phenomenal in the way that he controls the car. His consistency is on point as well, and we are seeing fastest laps start to creep in. So it was Thompson because he got the first lap on. Barnett has then beaten it with a 33.9. We have more people coming to line, but one of which is our boy Yonti, who's going to cross the line. He's going to chuck in a E2, which is a 134.4. He needs to step his game up more, but I'm really pleased to see Barnett up there right now.
Yeah, Barnett, we know he's got so much pace, and it's always been the incidents that he gets himself into that seems to be his problem. The out-and-out pace, he's got plenty of that. Absolutely no one will question that. But yeah, right now, he's showing over one lap. He is the man in form. We've seen it so many races now in a row. And if he can just hook it up in the race to just disappear into the distance and not have any issues with anyone, then he's golden.
Yeah, absolutely. Good evening, Matt Lazelle. Welcome back, should I say. How you doing? You welcome? Do you feel welcome? You should feel welcome. That's a lot of welcomes. Half of the grid have actually put in times on the board now then. We're just waiting for the other 10 drivers to chuck them in there too. Don't see many people invalidating. A couple of people on outlaps, so that's a good sign. 33.9 is the current time to beat. That is not going to be pole, I can tell you that now. I reckon there's going to be a good sort of 33.4-ish. Maybe even faster than that, depending on if they can get a lap hooked up together. A few people are getting more times in there. That is now Barnett improving at 33.7.
Yep, that's pretty good. You know, he's setting the fastest time. He's already going faster on this lap as well. And my boy Yonte, he was miles off this lap, but
Yeah.
we will see. I think he's kind of just pacing himself a little bit. But Ogden, he's actually 4/10 faster on this lap, which would drag him closer to Barnett, but it'd still be a ways off. But Bauer, where did that come from?
There it is. I mean, we actually didn't see him for a little while. If you remember back in, was it Bathurst, where he was absolutely on fire. No one, and I mean no one, was near him. Even Dalking didn't have any response to him at all. The only person who could take him out of the fight was himself. And unfortunately, he did have a big smash, which sent him right the way down the field. But has pace, has blistering pace, just needs to chuck it in. Speaking of which, Ogden also did the same thing. And look how close he got to Bauer. He's literally 48 thousandths between him and current pulsating time. So really demonstrating what he's got in him. And McLaren driver, so he's already won my heart, you know?
Yeah, and just looking through the rest of the field, having a look at people we don't necessarily usually expect to be up the front, see what they're doing. And now our good friend of ours, Gareth Walker, he's in P7 right now, which is really good to see, right in front of Fanson Fortune, who we know is an incredibly speedy boy. So it's good to see Walker getting the initial first step over Fortune, but only by a couple of thousands.
Oh, Yonti. Okay, watch Yonti. He's 9/10 up right now. This is pole. This is going to be provisional pole right here, as long as that wasn't invalidation, which it doesn't look like it was. He crosses the line. It was invalidated.
Yep.
F. Tommy Lee Coogan, thank you for joining. I appreciate that. Welcome. Hope you're well.
Can Yonte get into the 32s? I can confirm, yes, he will do it.
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, the one he just did there was a 33.5. But yeah, he did obviously invalidate. It just shows that what he's got in him there, he just has to actually put it on the board, so we'll see what he's got. But yeah, Bauer is current pole sitter, 133.6. And a little bit further away, we do have Ogden P2, Barnett P3, Adrian P4. But look at the jump from P3 to P4. So the top three, all within less than a tenth. Adrian, a bit further away. Wait till these guys get their comfort in there. It's going to be a lot closer than you think.
Oh yeah, like these guys. I mean, right now you've got like a gap between, there's about a 10th gap, and then everyone's about 7/10, 8/10, and that looks like where it's sticking. But we know that these guys can match the guys in the front just now. So like the fact that they've all sit in similar times will be conditions.
Watch Barnett here. As long as he doesn't bottle this is an enormous lap time. He's going to get 4/10s here. I think he's kept it. He's not invalidated, has he? Is he going to be actually on pole then? Yep, there it is. 33.2.
So close that to the Slowakowski right at the end there. That might have cost him a little bit of time, but he did manage to set 3 purple sectors. So, yep, great attempt there from Barnett.
Yonti manages to improve as well, but only goes up to P4, so that was a 33.8. It's still 6/10 clear away from where Barnett is. So, I'm going to have to go and kick myself because I complained ridiculous amount saying that the Lambo is awful here. And Barnett has just gone and proven that is absolutely not the case. I'm also actually curious to know if he's using my setup, because I did give all the Lambo guys my setup, and a few of them that tried it said they really liked it. So
why are you trying to sabotage the Lambos?
I'm not trying to sabotage them. I'm helping them. I'll have you know. Tommy says, "Look, I can catch an EU split live. You can. I'm proud of you. Thank you, Tommy." And Juzzy, hello, welcome back. Loving all the members. You guys are awesome. Shout out to all the members here. Also, whilst we're on the topic, if you haven't hit the thumbs up button, it's free of charge. Click the like button. It makes a huge difference for the stream. And, these guys deserve it. All the OOR community is fantastic. So why would you not,
Yep, 1 like equals 1 wub.
Yep, that's true. And I'll be giving you more wubs if you give them more thumbs up. So do it.
Yep. Invite your friends, and then we can have like a spam of wubs.
Whoops. One thing I've actually realized, when we've commentated in the past for F1 for other leagues, and there's always a thing that I used to say, if you remember, around about the 3-4 minute mark, where we'd say it's the calm before the storm. I've realized that there isn't really a calm before the storm in ACC, is there?
Not really, which is good to see, but it's because the track conditions don't change as much as they do in F1.
Yeah.
Both in the F1 game and in real life, like, track conditions are such a variable, and you know, if you get out at the death of the session, like, you are gaining time regardless. In ACC and in GT racing in general, you know, you're not gaining as much because, you know, the tire grip isn't as important to, like, you know, for your traction and stuff, for like the traction difference. You actually, I saw a comparison, I can't remember who done the video, but it was a YouTube video. It was like showing you the difference between F1 cars, F2 cars, F3 cars, and the women's league, I can't remember what it's called, but I was like, yeah, that's the one. And it had, like, obviously they've all got slightly different models of cars, and it was basically showing that all the time that the F1 gains is in the traction zones, on all the others, like, especially like the F2 series, you know.
Yeah.
In terms of, like, actual top line speed, yes, it's faster, but it makes up a vast majority of distance in the first 100 meters out of corner. So if because that's such a large percentage of your gain, having those optimal grip is, you gain so much lap time. In GT racing and lower series, it's not as important because it's such a small percentage. It's much more down to the, you know, the carry through speed that you do through the corner and how you maintain momentum.
Yeah. I think the other thing as well is that the tires take so much longer to get to the right pressures in GT racing. You know, it's not like you just go out there, do one out lap like you do in F1, and then suddenly your tires are at the right temperature, and then you can only do one lap after that because, you know, then they become a bit poor. Whereas in GT racing, you need not just the out lap, you also need one hot lap to then get the tires at the right pressure, and then your lap after that is usually your fastest lap. But then they're still good to go again and do another lap or so. So the issue is not necessarily that, you know, it's a one-shot wonder like it is in F1. It's more that you've got, you know, oh, I made a boo-boo, I'll just go again. I'll just keep it going until you know, unless you spin. If you spin, that's a whole different story. Your tires get destroyed, and there is flat spotting on this game as well. The tires are really well detailed, so it is quite important that you get it just right. But unlike Barnett, who went very wide there, apparently that's got to be invalidated.
Yes, he is invalid. Although he is going faster, so definitely got some extra pace in that car. But right now it is invalid. Someone else is showing a little bit of extra pace as Smith. He is about half a second up, but again, also invalid. So won't be gaining much there. Vesemel, though, he's gaining about half a second. His lap is entirely valid. Let's see if he's able to move himself up because he crosses the line.
P6.
Yep, up to P6.
Good lap time. That's what you like to see. We like to see that. And so in terms of the top 10, there's only one person right now improving, and that is... Oh, my word. What a slide. I mean, he was improving. It's now invalidated, so that's not happening. But, yeah, Yonti was improving. I've just realised I'm not even streaming the game to you. Let me quickly do that for you, mate.
Oh, all good, mate.
Shout at me when I don't do this, okay? From now on, you shout at me.
Don't worry, I shout at you always, baby.
Catch up on the chat real quick. So, hello, Chris Vining. How you doing? Engage Wubstep. Oh, we will. Don't you worry. You missed it. Actually, the first couple of songs were proper bops today for the stream. So I was pretty happy with that. Are you ready for the slidey rear? Chris drives the GTR, right? Yes. In split red. So, yeah, it should be too bad. The GTR's not bad around here. Wheel sawing skills are on point. Proceeds to sign up for log side competitions. Yeah, I think... Maybe needed. Bauer on a 1/10 increase right now. Vesemel's also finding a little bit of time. They're now just, as soon as I say that, immediately going dead even once again. Although Vesemel, he's actually just creeping in a couple of tenths there. He's only got a couple of corners to go. That's an invalidation. I don't think he's going to improve. Yeah.
I'm just having a look now. And Parties, he's about 2/10 up. Wrights was 6/10 up, but he's dropping massively right now. What's just happened there?
They're going good on my screen. It's still 2/10 up for me.
From being 6/10 up though, that was Must have had a bit of a bad corner, but again, he's gained some time back in the final corner, and crossing the line, manages to move himself up a couple of positions and reach the checkered flag. But let's jump back to the battle for the front here, because Yonte
P2 maybe?
was looking like he could grab P2, and
He got it.
yes,
Well, look at Bauer. Oh, never mind. Bauer was up massively until he got to the final corner, and then he screwed it up. But no one else in the top 10 is actually currently improving or in with a shot of doing so. They're all in the pits or not on a good lap at all. So it looks like our top 10 is labeled out how it is. Barnett. I've said time and time again how much I love Barnett, right? I think he's a phenomenal driver, has so much potential yet to unlock. Just needs that little bit more pace. And the other thing I've said, he needs that consistency. Last week in particular, he struggled for that consistency and it bit him in the ass, right? Now we're here today at Misano, where consistency is so crucial, especially in that Lambo. To put yourself on pole, and this is a normal sprint, right? This isn't a super sprint, so it's a 1 hour race straight through. So he needs to make sure his strategy's on point. He reacts to the track conditions very quickly, doesn't delay at all when it comes down to it. And if he can do that, I think there's a win on the table for him.
yeah, I mean, this is what we've always said, is that no one is questioning his speed. It is how he handles incidents. So long as he's out in front and disappears, and he doesn't see anyone, he should be fine. He should be absolutely golden. But as in those wheel situations, he just seems very aggressive, and again, it's sometimes doesn't pay off, and it ends up knocking him way down the order, and there's problems, and it just gets compounds the issue. Whereas on the flip side of that, someone like Hakala, he's maybe sometimes a little bit too timid in wheel-to-wheel combat, and very much will be like, well, I'm not going to risk my entire race for what could be one position at this moment. I'm just going to stay behind and wait for a better opportunity, which is good to see. But again, sometimes the opportunity you miss that opportunity because you don't go for it. But it's a balancing act on whether you want to, potentially bin your race entirely or gain one extra position. So,
yeah, absolutely. We saw the Y car a second ago, which was, we're going to see it. Here we go, coming through the field now. I mean, look at it. It is hideous. What a horrible looking car.
I don't know if I can speak to you anymore.
It's just such a horrible looking car. I can't even bring myself to try and pronounce it the way, or do the whole enthusiasm to go with it, because it's just
a wow car.
Yeah, it's just an ugly car. I mean, look at it. Let's just. Where is it? There it is. Just look at it. Tell me, can anybody actually tell me with a hint of sincerity that is an attractive looking car?
I am 100% serious when I say I love it.
I refuse to believe you. You're just saying it because I said it. That's all.
No, I absolutely love it. I genuinely think it looks fantastic.
Well, we're all a bit weird in our own way, I guess.
Yes.
So, formation lap time. I'm going to need your 1, 2, 3, please. I want to hear your predictions. Who have you got for the win? Who's going to get P2 and who's getting P3? Give me it now. Go.
I want to believe, but unfortunately I don't. So I'm going to say Yonte Bauer Vesemil.
What? You're chucking Barnett in the bin like that? No way.
Yep. I'm doing it. In the bin.
Ah. Oh. Alright. See, I'm not completely chucking him in the bin. I'm only partially chucking him in the bin. I think for me it's between Yonte and Bauer as to who's going to get the win, right? But then again, I'm looking at all of those, at least the top 8. Adrian in there as well. Sometimes Wagner, depending on how confident he's feeling. I'm looking at those and going, it could literally be any one of those guys. I've seen Ogden pull off some insane stuff. I've seen Pierce pull off some crazy stuff. Vesemil, I've seen him scrap out hard. I think it was Zolder when he had an absolute monstrous fight after a horrible first race. And yeah, who knows? But we have got one corner to go, and we're about to get it down. So you've locked in. I'm locking in. I'm going Yonti, Bauer, Barnett. On the home straight now then. Running up towards the start line. We're going to get this race kicked off big style. Alex Crawford has said that it's going to be Hackler, Pearson, Ogden. Viva's gone for Barnett P1, and we are racing. Look at the Honda having a little bit of a look down the inside in towards turn 1. Very defensive move there from Barnett. Yonti's coming around the outside of him, going through turn 1. Is he going to make the stick into turn 2? It's going to be tied. There's a touch. No, catch it. Oh, he catches it. There was so nearly major disaster for him, but he has lost places. He's fallen down to, well, he's effectively fighting for P3. He's 3 wide going into it. Oh, there's contact again. Oh, no, that just about avoids the major collision. And that was, I believe, Pierce getting sent off to the bin.
Yep, into the shadow realm with you, Pierce. There was nothing Yonti could have done there. It was just right in the middle of a sandwich, and both of them were closing in on him on either side. So, yeah, someone was going to come off worst there. But a little touch from Bauer just into the rear of Hakala meant that completely knocked him off, and that was him fighting for those positions, trying to get back up the order. But yes, we've got like Barnett just trying to disappear into the distance, but Bauer's keeping him honest. So it's definitely all to play for right now.
It really is. I mean, yes, our race leader has pretty much just taken off. He's pieced out very, very quickly, along with Bauer holding onto the back of him. A little bit of a gap there, obviously, now between Bauer and Ogden. But Yonti's still in. He actually did a very good job to catch his car number 1, avoid further contact number 2, and actually still being with a chance here of fighting for a podium. A race win is still on the cards. It's a very long race. Remember, it's a 1 hour long race. Which, you know, yes, in terms of a full-length endurance race, is nothing. But when it comes to these sprint races, it's actually still quite a long time, and there's a lot you can do to bring this back. So don't rule him out. Don't rule anyone out here. And Sam Bauer obviously taking the fastest lap right now is a bit concerning for Barnett.
Yeah, and again, with these races, we've seen in the past, you know, someone's 20, 30 seconds clear, and then they bin it. So yeah, everyone needs to maintain their concentration. No one is safe. But I'm just having a look. It looks like car number 34, which is Slowakowski's, had an issue. He's spun round, and he's now dropped right back to the back of the field. I don't know if there was contact there.
Have a look.
Yeah, 43. Schultz looked like it might have had a little coming together.
I'm on board now. Oh, it was very slow. Oh, the Honda. It was the Honda of Schultz, I believe, that had touch into the back of Slowakowski. And yeah, he falls down.
Yep, but upsetting to see, but yeah, nothing really that Slowakowski could have done there. Bauer, though, he's actually just a half second behind Barnett. He is definitely keeping him honest, and yeah, Barnett, I don't think will be feeling too comfortable.
Ben Smith having a look down the inside of Vesemil here. It's quite a tight one to go through there. Luckily, we're not yet into the braking zone, which is now here. But let's see how that Merc handles going through. Normally, it's quite a slidey beast. That is definitely an off-track. I don't know if he got a warning for it or not, but you can tell the difference between which cars have got the better aero and which ones don't, especially through that corner there. The Mercedes is very slidey in that circumstance. The Porsche feeling a lot more agile. Oh, that was very nearly Adrian into the back of him, into the back of Vesemil. But, you know, we're good. So Ben Smith does secure that move. He is up to P6 now. But it is still 2 seconds clear between him and Thompson. So Vesemil could easily retaliate on the next straight, especially if he can carry momentum like that through the corner.
Yep, and through all that, we've had a little bit of a spin from Wagner. He's dropped way down the order, just kind of lost it on his own.
Adrian's feeling feisty today. Got seriously close to the back of Vesemil there. Almost give him a kiss. Oh, it runs out onto those sausage curbs. The Aston is going to be so much faster than the Porsche in the straight line, and this has been proof. He's going for a look down the inside, but it hasn't had a window to go and send it. We'll have to sit back a little bit longer. And I'm just having a quick look at Bauer, because he looks like he's lost a little bit of ground here to Barnett. It's only minor, but he's now not in the effective tow range. 7/10 is the effective tow range. He's just a little bit further away than that. I'm going to go back to Vesemil. I think this is going to be a scrap and a half.
Yeah, Vesmil was nearly forced into making a move there when Adrian was trying it on him. Made him get nice and close to Smith in front. But this is going to be a good scrap.
Yeah. And also Gareth Walker being pressured here by Parties in the Nissan. The Nissan is very quick in a straight line. So is the Ferrari, to be fair. But the Nissan has that little bit of oomph coming out of corner. We'll see how long it lasts. It may last a little bit longer than we usually expect, but I think Parties has now lost a little bit of ground here onto Gareth Walker, so we're going to go right back over to Vestermail as Barnett responds to Bauer's previous fastest lap, raises the bar to a 33.6. Hello, Keith. Welcome.
33.6 during race pace that's incredible.
Mental.
Oh, Vesmail's getting very feisty there, like almost chopping that corner in half, trying to get right through Smith here. He's putting him under all sorts of pressure.
Yep. Now, don't be fooled, guys. It is totally fine for you to cut the corners as hard as these guys are. You can, basically, this track is, as long as you don't go all four wheels off the track, you can cut every corner really hard. So
Colts has had another coming together with Fredrickson.
Schultz might find himself at the mercy of the stewards if that is to continue. And again, Barnett pulling away even further than before now. That's a good hefty 1.3, almost 1.4 second gap that they're currently reeling in. Ben Smith, look at this. This has been like this for, what, 3 laps now? Vestermail just doesn't have the straight line speed to be able to go for a send in the areas where he needs to. So realistically, the first sector is the best place for Vestermail to go for a move. But look at the size of the Mercedes. You can't just send it and then, expect that there's just going to be room for you. Ben Smith, what a drift. Catches it beautifully and still holds on to the position, although Vestermail's got to move down the inside. Oh, very nearly has contact, but it's left side here is going to be favoured. No, pivot over. He fixes it, but then snaps his car. Off he goes into the gravel, and Vestermail gets binned. Don't give in. Get back on the track. Go, go, go.
So far down the order there from that.
Yeah.
There was not much in that contact at all, but it was just right at that point of the car where the pit maneuver happens. And there's more contact. Adrian's just went into the back of Smith and now he's spun all the way around.
Yeah, and at the same time, Smith, whilst he was being rotated, did kind of roll back a little bit into Pierce, and that caused a little bit of contact, which is now allowing Parties to get around the outside, or at least try it. The inside is available once again for the GTR. They're about matched when it comes to acceleration. I think the straight line pace is actually favoured for the GTR, so bear that one in mind. The agility is more favoured for the actual Porsche rather than GTR, but on this track, I think you're probably wanting more oomph in a straight line. Oh, he's going around the outside. No, he's not. He tried it. It wasn't happening.
Yeah, he gave it a good go, but yeah, just having a look now through, looks like Wright's keeping his eye on this, because this could be an opportunity for him to start sliding past a few cars. If anyone that has issues in front, they're all so compact right now. But Hansen as well, he is right on the back of Tudor. So we'll see if he's able to make a move on his teammate at some point. It looks like he is slightly kind of been closing that gap, but the last lap it was pretty much evened.
Parties had a big wobble in the same way that Ben Smith did, but a lot more controlled and didn't have Joe Wright going for a send on him. Although Joe is having a look now here. Parties definitely gave the space, not that he needed to. Maybe gave himself a bit too much space, and that kind of put him in a bit. I think he maybe even got a warning for that one. But he holds a position, and maybe he'll go, you know what, I'll just take it, keep it, whatever.
Yep, and through all this, Yonti's falling slightly further back from Ogden. Not much, but he's kind of... The gap's stabilised now. It doesn't look like he's trying to hunt him down as hard as he was.
Hansen, having a look on Tudor. Down the inside he goes. Big boy send. Yeah, I think he's got that done. Yes, he has. Unless Tudor's got a retaliation, which he doesn't. So Hansen, in his debut for the Sprint Series, managed to get himself up to P11. Good tactical, calculated move there.
Yep, and he is now the front-running BM driver. So good to see. He's really showing his worth in that car.
Also worth noting that Thompson is currently looking a lot faster than he has for a little while. So 3/10 faster than his previous best, which was a 34.1. Yonti, last lap, did a 34.5. So it's not looking too good for him right now. I think his tyres are starting to maybe get a little bit hot if he hasn't quite set the pressures correctly. I know that you have to react in these circumstances. If his tyres are a bit toasty, he may look to box early. That's kind of the strategy here, is if things are not quite going how you want them to be because your tyres have not been set correctly initially, you'll have the benefit here of being able to then adjust it for the pit stop. Get onto fresh rubber, change them to the correct pressure so you can then extend a little bit further and go faster. And that might then allow him to have some confidence in the car, push those lap times right down, and then, reel in the front runners.
Speaking of front runners, Ben Smith has actually just pitted and came out right in front of the front runners, and that he's now managed to let Barnett through, but he's held up Bauer a little bit as well. So his pit stop's out the way, but yeah, I don't think he really wanted to be, coming out and getting involved in this battle.
No, definitely not. I'm just trying to keep an eye on a few little battles going on here. So Gareth Walker's under pressure from Nathan Pearce. You've got Joe Wright also being pressured by Espen Hansen. You kind of have a battle going on between Bauer and Ogden. I mean, Ogden is a bit further back than you would expect, but with the fact that there is back markers starting to show their face a little bit due to the mistakes that have been made earlier on in the actual race itself, it's now going to start to be quite scrappy. So I'm going to keep an eye on Gareth Walker, Nathan Pearce, and Espen Hansen and Joe Wright, and see who will get the move done. Which Ferrari is going to defend the best?
Oh, to be honest, we've seen the Ferrari being a wide boy. As Joe goes a bit wide there. That one, a little slap on the wrist. But I'm having a look through in terms of, like, we were talking about pit strategy, and Jonty was actually very, very fast while he was stuck behind Ogden. He was pretty much second, third fastest person on track. However, because he's been stuck and, as you say, might have not correct pressures, if he pits now and gets himself some clean air, he should be able to jump, do what's called the undercut, and jump Ogden through the pit stop alone, just because he seemed to have so much faster pace than him. A couple of laps would be all he'd really need to, like, secure that gap. So I think he will come in for an early pit stop. It's just a case of, how do you time it?
Yeah. Espen Hansen has actually managed to get through Joe right there. I think there was a mistake from Joe. Unfortunately, we did miss it. That is my apologies. But yeah, I don't think Jonty should pit yet, though. That's the problem. The tyres tend to last around about 45 minutes before they start to really hit a cliff. And in the Audi, on a track like this, you can't really afford to hit that cliff because that fast right-hander will feel so much worse than it did ever before. Just keep an eye. Look at Nathan Pearce. He is all over the back of Gareth Walker, who's trying to go defensive. They're coming into the fast right-hander. I think Gareth should be able to hold this one, but Nathan just seems to be a lot more... Oh, didn't jinx him, did I?
Sliding.
Nope, we're all right.
A lot more sliding.
Yeah, definitely sliding. I was going with sliding. Oh, he's actually going to stick it down
inside.
Go on. He's going to do it, isn't he? Round the outside again for the left-hander. This is a double left, so he's going to have it really awkward. We did see a Porsche go like this last time. It didn't go well for them. It was, in fact, Vesemel and Ben Smith who had contact. And, yeah, we're not going to change places just yet, but Gareth has got to be sweating in that Ferrari right now.
Yep, and Wright's just spun out as well, and just in the hairpin, which not ideal for him. Dropped down the order a little bit, and he's now being hassled. To be honest, his rejoin was it was a bit touch and go, but like no issues. But my God, he really saw a tiny gap and went for it.
Oh. He hasn't had contact, then at least it's not that bad. It's no Bender rejoin, I don't know if have you seen that. Have you seen that clip?
I have not, but I have heard.
Yes, it is a clip you need to see. That rejoin was interesting. Ben Smith has been given a 10-second time penalty for causing a collision on lap 4. I think we know what that was.
I believe that was with
Vesemel.
Yeah, I think it was Vesemel. Or
I'm pretty confident it was Vesemel.
It may have been Vesemel, or it might have been the contact that he had with Adrian.
Yep, could be. A 5-second penalty, a 10-second penalty has been given to... Yeah, that is Ben Smith. Cool. Cool. We just read that already. Brilliant. Jonty I mean, he's not far away from Ogden. He is. 300 seconds. I didn't realize he was that bad.
I think I think he needs to come in around the 40-minute mark.
Yeah.
And then sort whatever tire problems going on, and unleash the pace that we know he has. In that clear area, you'll have about 10 minutes or so before the usual people will start pitting. Going in for about the halfway mark is generally the accepted strategy.
Sorry, Nathan Pierce and Gareth Walker going out once again. Gareth has took a really awkward line through there because he's trying to defend it. Nathan Pierce has got the momentum, and this is where we're going to see a little bit of side-by-side action between the two of them for the first time in a little while. Going to be all about the brakes, which is favoured for the Porsche. It's a lighter car, is more nimble, and it has been proven now. But look what's happened because of how much they've been fighting. Parties and Hansen have bunched up a little bit, getting involved in this fight as well. So this fight, which is for P7, has become a four-car battle.
Parties is off. He nearly ran into the back of the Ferrari, and that's just allowed Hansen to slip on through.
Yeah. I think we call that a freebie.
Yep, nice little freebie.
Can never complain about a freebie. They are, well, free. And as a Yorkshireman, that pleases me.
Good to know. Good to know. I'll give you many freebies in your life.
Don't promise a girl something you can't keep. Okay.
Having a look though at Thompson. Thompson is right getting onto the back of Yonte now. So yeah, this is now all about how well Yonte can defend, but he is losing so much time to Ogden now. Someone
needs to tell Yonte, get in the pits right now. Yes, you're going to be running a lot more fuel because I imagine he's going to refuel. Yes, you're going to run more fuel. Yes, your lap times are going to be a bit more hindered, but something is wrong with him. I don't know what it is. His pace in the quali was fantastic. I can only assume that the issue is his tire pressures are just a bit too high, because it's not that he doesn't know how to drive the track on race fuel. This is something he practices quite regularly. I fully believe he just hasn't got the pressures set correctly, which is allowing him to then push. Once he gets that sorted, he's fine. And on a track like this, you really need to make them accurate.
Yep, I'm just actually having a look to see, but I don't think we have any way to see what his pressures are, unfortunately.
No, actually not. We're just gut feeling it, but I mean, I've raced with him in endurance races in the past. I've raced with him in sprint races in the past, in both F1 and in ACC. This is very uncharacteristic Yonte. This is not where we would expect him to be.
I mean, but you say not where we expect him to be, like P4's a bad place to be in. But
I meant condition-wise, not position-wise.
I think you need to make a rap about that, position-wise versus condition-wise.
Yeah.
You're such a poet.
I can't off the cuff rap. That's one thing I can't do. Give me about 3 weeks, I'll come up with a verse. Maybe I'll be able to hook you up with some sort of cool...
Nice, I like it.
Raggy rap.
I like it. So in 3 weeks' time, you've heard it here first, guys. Raggy is going to rap on stream.
Oh, actually, that's a very good point that Alex has made. What if Yonte got damage from that first lap collision? Because he did get hit relatively hard.
He did. I have had a look at the car, and I can't really see anything that would look too bad. There's no, the wings not busted or anything.
Yeah.
It looks okay, so...
Let's have a look, shall we? Let's go.
There might be some damage that we just can't see.
Where did he get hit? Left side, wasn't it?
He got hit on the left and the right and the rear. But I mean,
a bit of damage on his rear. It's only minor. I mean, if it's diffused the damage, that would explain his lack of confidence in the car. His right side looks scuffed, so yeah, maybe... I mean, even more of a reason to get in the pits, to be honest. This is if your car is this injured, get in the pits and find out how bad it's going to be, you know?
Yeah.
And then fix it and then move on with your life.
But it's the question then, he still managed to put in a 33.8 while the car was potentially damaged. So unless he's had another incident, which has caused... Because realistically speaking, he was keeping up with Ogden fine. He looked like he was faster than Ogden. He just couldn't get past. So I don't know if we could definitely say that that would be because of the damage to the car. But Thompson, oh my god, he's ringing that car now trying to get past. Nearly ran right off the road as he was hooking it through that right-hander. Yeah, he's desperate to get on by here.
Yeah, he's even throwing onto these curbs as well. I think Thompson is... I wouldn't say he's being held back currently. I mean, his last lap was a 34.4. His PB so far this race is a 33.9. So if he is being held back, then, you know, we're talking about half a second on his PB. But at the same time, he's not ever really been that close to Yonti to be able to actually properly go for any sort of side-by-side maneuver or whatever. So maybe Thompson is getting frustrated about the dirty air because it is still pretty effective, especially if you're driving a McLaren, which is very aero-dependent. He may find a way through later, and it's not that the car struggles in a straight line either. It has all of those abilities. The only thing it sucks at is the brakes. It's honestly got wooden brakes that make it really hard to slow down, but it does mean he can carry momentum, kind of like he's doing right now. This is going to be quite a little intense old Sector 1, I reckon, unless he makes a boo-boo like that, then he's not going to gain too much. He went really wide through the final corner, misses the apex by a little bit. He's going to have to just carry on as he was.
Yep, just having to stay as is, but having a look down the back of the field, there's a nice little battle going here with Slowakowski. He's dipping in and out of like an attack range, shall we say? But Gatan as well is having a moment by the looks of things. Yep, Gatan looks like he is fine. Oh, coming back on the track a little bit, but yep, some moves, bobbing and weaving here, just trying to get in the slipstream, just make something stick. But again, not able.
Nope. We've also got Gareth and Espen having a bit of a tuffle here, if you want to call it that. Gareth has been defending for most of this race. He was obviously defending against Pierce, who got knocked down the grid due to early race contact. We've not yet seen the pit stops come alive yet, I'll be honest, and I'm surprised we've not seen Yonti get in first, because I think he should be one of... The undercut is huge on this track, okay? It is really, really important that you get in there, get your tyres swapped out, get your damage repaired. Yes, he's going to lose a little bit of time because of the fact that he's got to repair his car. Oh, parties. That was a bit of a oopsie. Let's have a quick look at that. As he comes into the fast corners. Where did it go wrong? Oh, on the braking. Back end steps out. Yeah, that's what we like to call a yikes.
Yep, and Smith also just spun himself out and has disconnected. So,
sad.
A bit sad, but he's had enough.
Yeah, I mean, he needed a safety car, really, didn't he, in order for him to have a chance, really. Gareth actually losing out to Hansen, so Hansen is through.
Thompson's in the pits. Thompson just came in. He's going for the undercut.
But this is huge. Like I said, the undercut is massive. I mean, realistically, Thompson should have identified that Yonti has damage anyway, and really, you know, he's going to jump him from the pit. So if he is being held back, this is perfect for Thompson. Getting the car, you know, getting the pit stop out of the way as soon as you can is massive. Also, Vesemel in as well, trying to recover some of the places he lost due to that contact with Ben Smith earlier on at the beginning of the race. Yes, fell down the order quite substantially, but undercut being as big as it is, the pace that Vesemel has as well should help bring him further forward. But basically what I'm saying is Vesemel can still score big today.
Yeah, honestly, you're never really knocked out in these races.
Who's that?
There's looks like several issues there.
Slowikowski.
And it looks like yeah.
Is that the Lambo of Van Tricht as well, I think?
Yep, I think so.
We are on the home straight right here, coming up towards turn 1. You can see the BMW of Slowikowski. I'm going to look down the inside in towards turn 1. Oh, okay. Yeah, I think we'll let the stewards decide, but on my first analysis, it looks as though the Lambo just shut the door.
Yonti's now in the pits. Too late, in my opinion.
Yeah, agreed. We'll see. Well, actually, let's keep an eye on Thompson then. Where is he currently? P13, and also halfway around the circuit. So the lap times are going to be quite long. Espen Hansen with a 10-second penalty for causing a collision on lap 1. So that is going to really affect his current position. It will put him around about P10 as it sits, but we do still have 35 minutes to go. There's still a long way for him to be able to bring it back. Actually, no, he will stay P9 in the end, so not too big a deal. Where on earth is Thompson in relation to Yonti? Yonti is on his way out the pits. Thompson is second to last corner. I think this is going to be quite tight.
Yep, it looks like it'll be tight. Just touching back on the Epson Hamilton, the problem, I don't actually know which contact because he had several. He had contact with 5 different cars. So not sure which ones on lap 1 are the problem.
Oh, they're coming through. Yonti might have actually kept the position. Yes, he has, because Thompson got held up so hard by the Lamborghini. That is how he managed to just slip on by, and he's through. So Yonti's back to where he was before, and he's now got... I'm going to double check before I say this. I think he's actually taken the repairs. No, he hasn't. His car is still injured. He has not repaired the car at all, so he took a normal pit stop, which, to be honest, was, I think, probably the right call. Only because he would have ended up behind the Lambo as well, which is where Thompson is currently. And we can see, if we go on board in the helicam back to Thompson, look at the gap. Yonti's already at the next corner, and here comes Thompson now at that corner. So there's a good, what, 3, almost 4 second gap between the two of them? That's quite huge.
Yep, and honestly, we don't know how much the damage is actually affecting him. Like, it might be just cosmetic and not really costing him that much time. As we say, it could have been tyre pressures.
Simon Bauer, 5-second penalty for causing a collision on lap 1. He, who's fighting P2 right now, has only got a 5.7 second gap to Ogden. So Ogden, maybe with a shot here of just snatching that P2 away from him.
Yep, and this is the contact they would have had with Yonte, as we saw. Remember, it kind of knocked him off at the start, which is what forced Yonte back into the pack initially. So, and which is what caused the damage to Yonte's car. So, yep, we did expect that incident to be looked at, and the stewards have decided 5 seconds.
Yeah, I think it's fair. I mean, you know, lap 1 penalties, are not uncommon. But at the same time, it's such a, you know, chaos always on lap 1 that makes it really quite difficult to figure out. But hello, Paul. Good evening, mate. Hope you're well. Lakeoff from the stewards room. Joe Wright with a 10-second penalty for causing the collision on lap 10. I don't recall who he had contact with.
I will check for you. Lap 10.
Yes.
I can't see anything on lap 10. I'm going to imagine that's lap 1.
Oh, Parties and Hansen. It looks like Parties managed to just get back ahead of Hansen. Hansen all over the rear of that big GTR. And trust me, I can tell you with confidence, the rear of a GTR is enormous. And a BMW, yes, they're big cars in themselves, but that doesn't make it any easier. That makes it equally just as terrifying to try and fight alongside another big chungus. So Hansen, somebody who has big cojones, don't expect him to back out at any point. He does have to worry about his rear view mirror though, because he has a pretty aggressive, pretty fast Van Westermael in a Porsche. Oh, he's going for it.
Oh, he's going for it.
He's going to stick it. He's going to actually go send it. Big boy send from Westermael. The exit is really clean as well. He just needs to stay in the toe of the GTR to help use that extra bit of horsepower, if you want to call it that, because he hasn't got the straight line speed, whereas the BMW is all about the straight line speed. This will favour the Porsche, and that's why Hansen decides, yeah, fair enough, not going to fight you, off you go. Enjoy P14 for now. But, you know, never count Hansen out, especially with all these pit stops that are happening ahead. This could be big. I'm keen to see now, because of how early in comparison to those ahead that Yonti has boxed. Where will he come out in relation to everyone else? Because
he is going faster than the leaders by around a second.
Oh. Yes, I'm just seeing 34-1 last lap from Yonti. Race leader 35-1. So yeah, this is huge for Yonti. The only worry is towards the end when the tires start to drop. Will there be enough grip in them?
I'm not even entertaining that thought. This is Yonte going for the win.
Oh, what? Okay. I mean, that's a call. That is a huge call.
That is a huge call. I think he's already managed to gap and catch up to Ogden.
No way.
I think so, because Ogden was again about 1.2 seconds slower. There was what was it, like a 2.5 second gap.
Yeah.
I think this lap Yonti will have already closed that gap down. So, the gap, mate. Yeah. So he needs to just keep doing this for 7 laps before the leader's pit, and then he could potentially be leading this race.
Well, let's have a look as Barnett's coming through the second to last. Is he coming into the pits this lap? No, he's not. What about Bauer? Is he coming in? No. What about Ogden? A bit further back down. Is he coming into the box this lap? No. So the top 3 are staying out at least another lap, which, lap time from Barnett this lap was a 34.3, so he's definitely responding to the pace that Yonti's chucking down. Bauer did a 34.7. Ogden did a 34.8. Yonti, who we are still waiting to cross the line again.
Oh, he has crossed the line again. He's done that twice in a row? He's set the exact same lap twice.
Wow. Okay, so he's still getting... I mean, he only gained 2 tenths on leader, but he gained a big almost 7 tenths on Bauer, and he gained 7 and a bit tenths on Ogden. So you might not be wrong, Schultz getting a 10-second time penalty for causing a collision on lap 2. So P15 as it sits will lose. He'll still be fine. I don't think he loses anything realistically, because Fredrickson still needs to box and is 7.7 seconds behind. So yeah, that is going to be a big F for Fredrickson.
Yep, and I believe that was the contact that he had with who was it?
Wasn't it the BMW of Tudor?
Yeah.
No, Slavikovsky, wasn't it?
Slavikovsky, yep, you're correct. Slavikovsky.
More pit stops. Adrian and Joe Wright have both chucked themselves in, getting themselves done and dusted. Adrian's already on his way out. Yonti is coming through. He's already through. He's already ahead.
Yep.
So he's jumped
Yonti's had a massive moment though, and he was 1.4 seconds slower that lap than he was doing previously. So we missed something, but yeah, he's cost himself all the time that he just gained.
It's got to be precious. Has to be. I mean, in terms of the relation to where he did on the lap time that Gareth is checking in right now, who does still need to box, by the way. Ogden is in. Ogden is in the pits, so this could be massive. We'll see how much that last lap has done Yonti over. I mean, I think he's still net positive.
He's still up about 1.5 seconds, but whether that's not enough to close the gap that was there, but that depends on how Ogden done on his in lap.
Gareth is in as well. We're pretty confident that Yonti will jump Gareth regardless. Because I think he was actually ahead of Gareth by the time he went into the pits. We'll see as he's coming into the hairpin. Where is he in relation to Ogden? Ogden is on his way out of the pits right now. Yonti coming through the second to last. It is a very, very long pit exit, bear that in mind. You can't actually disengage the pit limiter until you're pretty much at like turn 3. So keep an eye on that one. Here comes Yonti. Up towards turn 1.
With Fredrickson as well. It looks like he's spun the car. A little bit of dodging going on.
Yonti's got him. He's jumped him. There's Ogden coming out the pit lane right now. So yeah, you were not just right, massively ahead. He's giving it what was like a good 2 and a bit seconds at least on Ogden. So a big jump for them, but also race leader and P2 are in.
Yep. So I don't think he had enough time to close that gap. That was a bit too big. That was about an extra 7 seconds or so. But what it does, he might jump Bauer because of that 5-second penalty.
Which even if he's right now.
Yep. So even if he gets nice and close to the back of Bauer or in front of him because of the penalty, he's now in the fight for the lead.
The McLarens do a little bit of team orders and swap places. So Thompson is through on Ogden. Ogden just kind of backed off, let him go through. I think they are in cahoots with each other. That isn't necessarily anything for them to worry about too much. I just am really keen to see where is race leader, because he's still in his pit box, and Yonti is coming through the hairpin and the third to last corner. So Barnett now
coming out.
Where's
so
Bauer?
he's definitely maintaining the position, but Bauer Bauer's in danger. Bauer's in danger of losing this.
Yonti might get him. He's on the home straight. This is the home straight right here. Barnett is almost at the point of disengaging his... There it is. He's disengaged, so he's good to go. He is away. He's still resuming race lead. But Bauer, he's just now disengaged. Here comes Yonti. They are both so close to each other. There's Yonti. You can see just entering your screen. He is alongside and actually ready to start getting aggressive for a P2 fight for the end of this race. 25 minutes to go. Expect this to be hot, especially whilst Bauer's tires are freezing.
Yep, and Yonti there, this has played out so perfect for him. He can definitely try and make this move and get P2, and P1's not too far up the road.
Well, if Bauer's going to defend like this is going to cost time to the race leader, and Yonti needs to hurry up and get past him as soon as he possibly can. We're coming up to the hairpin for the back straight, and this will favour Yonti because he has so much more grip, which is kind of needed through here. No way is he taking the outside line. Oh my word, I thought he was going to go for it. He's going to go for a kind of a switchback. The drag through here will be enormous, which will help Yonti pull up. The issue is, the area that Yonti's struggling the most is the fast right-hander coming up in just a few seconds. Slovikovsky gets a 10-second time penalty for a collision that he caused on lap 12. Don't recall who that one was with, but regardless, a penalty has been applied and it is P19 as it sits anyway. Maybe we'll lose out to Fredriksson, but that is it. Wagner also getting a 15-second penalty for a collision on lap 15. So penalties coming in thick and fast. Wagner's will be applied at the end of the race because he's already served his pit stop.
Yep, already served it, so he will potentially lose some places. I'm just having a look to see the drivers behind, so he could lose 3 positions. As it stands anyway, he'll lose 3 positions, but I'm keeping an eye on this battle with Yonti and Bauer, and to be honest, Yonti looks like he's all over Bauer right now.
Yeah, this is going to be a real fight. Oh, Gareth. No, Gareth. Track limits have struck, and he has to box because he has a drive-through penalty. So was P8, will drop like a stone now due to that. What could have been a pretty solid result finish for him if he could have stuck in that P8 there. He may have actually got a nice little standings boost. But unfortunately, yeah, he will have to serve the drive-through. Will drop down right down. Maybe still gain a P12, depending on if Schultz and Wagner stay where they are. Because they are big penalties. And so far, Gareth hasn't had one other than that drive-through.
Yep, so again, you've got to be really careful with track limits because the drive-through is applied automatically for a couple of, off tracks. Oh, that was a big moment. That was a very big moment.
I was in cockpit cam with him at the time when that happened. There was a lot of opposite lock there.
Yeah. I believe he's going to get Bauer. I can feel it. Feel it in my bones.
There's no penalty now for Bauer. He served that when he actually took the pit stop. We also owe a huge... No, I'll wait. I'm not going to jinx him. I'm going to wait.
Yes, we should. You should offer huge congrats to Barnett for such a good race. No issues at all.
Why are you doing
because this? A three-way fight for the lead would be great.
Yes. Okay, let's do this. Barnett has not had a single foot wrong. He's nailed it so far this race, and it's been a...
Oh, right. Right, we tried to rejoin, and he's just absolutely taken out 2 cars.
Let's go back and let's watch it real quick. Helicam. So this is Bauer, you can see here with Yonti. Bauer, and this is going up towards turn 4. I don't see where right is. In fact, let's have a quick look at him. He's already lost control of the car here. Trying to get back on the track. Just comes across. Holding his brakes. Is he going to move? He's moving.
Yes.
No. Oh, Yonti's been hit as well. Big contact between them. Joe Wright. Oh no, and Bauer is in a big bad way. That car is injured. Every time he touches the brake pedal, the lights are going out. He hasn't got one of them, but he is going to have to box regardless. That car is absolutely ruined. Joe will almost certainly get a massive spanking for that one. Yeah.
That is not how we expected.
Oh. How they dodge?
Yeah.
How are these people dodging Bauer?
Yeah. That's not how we wanted to see that overtake go down.
No. I feel like we've been robbed at the same time, because that was going to be a mental fight, and Bauer would have given it everything. But to now see the car as broken as this is for Bauer, and he has the box, right? That car is absolutely just... Oh my word. His steering wheel is... He's literally hard righting to go left.
Yeah, that's so... I'm so upset with that. Bauer has had such a good race, and he's done so well. Yes, he got a 5-second penalty for the collision with Yonte at the start. But other than turn 1, he has driven such a good race. And through no fault of his own, to be honest, I don't think he'll continue. Like,
no. I wouldn't be surprised if he just retires right here, right now.
Yeah.
I mean, the repair time is going to be astronomical.
Yeah. And I'm just having a look to see, I mean, Yonte, his times look to be, you know, roughly what is happening behind him. So I'm just waiting for him to cross the line this lap to see if that damage that you will now have on the car after, you know, having a car launched into him, if that's going to be affecting the car he's in. Because realistically, he could potentially be dropping down the order as well after that contact.
Well, 34.6 was the lap time that Yonte chucked in. So, I mean, I'm looking at the way that he's driving the car. I'm in the cockpit cam with him right now. He doesn't look comfortable, I will say that. And it was already in the side that was already injured from the initial contact in lap 1. So it hasn't really helped him at all that he's in this circumstance. It's a shame that it happened the way that it did, but, you know, a huge F for Bauer. Absolutely. You know, again, like you said, nailed it in the race. Minor contact, lap 1, gave him a 5-second penalty. He served it. He did his time. He's out of jail. But unfortunately, yeah, a rejoin of nightmares is all I can really describe it. I think Wright's actually just gone, yeah, I'm out. Peace. Yeah, I can't see him anywhere. He's gone.
I'll double check.
Yeah, he's gone.
Can't see the disconnect, but yeah. Big sad, but you know, there's still 18 minutes to go, and those McLarens are looking very quick. So the battle for the podium positions is not over yet. Yonte is kind of in trouble.
Well, yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you look at the lap times, both of the McLarens are actually lapping like 3 to 4 tenths faster than what Yonte's currently chucking down. And the gap is only 2.4 seconds. So, you know, you total that up over the next few laps, you're looking at a fight towards the end of this race. So Yonte, I'm just going to look at the time again. He did a 34.4. So, yeah, he's still 4 tenths slower than Thompson. And Ogden was a little bit faster than Thompson as well. So, again, another 4-tenth gain there for Ogden too. So, both of them are actually reeling in Yonte quite nicely. Give it about 5 laps, they're going to be right onto the back of Yonte. However, the thing to note is there is not a lot of time left in this race. And it's one thing to catch a driver, it's another to pass them. We say this every single week because it really is so important. I just want to have a quick look at Yonte's side pod just to see how... Oh, there's a very interesting... I think, yeah, here's... That's pretty beat up.
Yep, that is pretty beat up. But as we saw earlier, you know, Thompson's had a lot of practice, shall we say, trying to overtake Yonte and couldn't pull it off. So we'll see if Yonte's able to defend as well as he was doing earlier. But, you know, perfect strategy call from Yonte. The timing of the pits was excellent. He got himself into nice clean air, was able to set some good laps, and honestly, his pace was incredible. And yeah, just really brought himself back into this fight for this race win. And again, through no fault of his own, the pace that he's able to chuck down now is just not comparable to the guys around him, because that car is a bit trashed.
Yeah, just a tad. I mean, for me, I mean, obviously he's got a special place in my heart regardless, but taking that out of the equation, just looking at it subjectively, I'd say he's driver of the day, because he has done everything he needed to do in this race. He's taken every blow, literally, that he's been dealt, and he's handled all of them and reacted and adjusted his entire race strategy around the whole circumstance, and it's worked out pretty damn well for him. Yes, he was kind of, and I guess in his shoes, he's kind of going, well, Joe did me a solid there. Thank you, mate. You just saved me from losing a hell of a lot of time to race leader, but also you saved me a lot of time to the guys behind me. But he did suffer a blow. Even during that whole move, he still loses a lot of time per lap now. 34.5 was his previous lap. Luckily, a mistake from Thompson has actually kind of matched that. It was another 34.5 from Thompson. Ogden actually still gained 3/10 on both of them. So he's actually closing into to Thompson a little bit more. He's almost in the effective tow range, and they are still closing in on Hackler even more.
Yep. And it's interesting, we saw some team orders from the McLarens earlier, so will they follow suit to the same now, or are they going to be fighting each other as well as trying to fight Hackler? So definitely it's not over. I mean, Ogden, he offered up the position to Thompson earlier because his tyres were up to pressure and temperature, and he was like, right, go hunt down Hackler. But Ogden was in front before. So yeah. I'm sure he will want to, if there's a podium position up for grabs, I'm sure he will want to take it. But it's whether Thompson will give him back.
Well, this is it. I don't know how good these two are in terms of friendship. I don't even know if they know each other, Priceless. They clearly have some sort of communication with each other, because that was a very clear team orders between the two of them. They're actually coming up to some backbackers here. Let's have a quick look. There's a Honda. Is that Yonti's being held up as well? I think Yonti's been held up massively from the Honda.
Yonti's well through.
Who's this? Is this Fredrickson?
It
is. So that is Ogden, who's now just been allowed through on his teammate, effectively. So Ogden is actually up in a P3. It looks like Thompson's going for a retaliation move here. He's back up in a P3 again, but he's gone off the track and actually has to have a pretty awkward rejoin. So Ogden is physical P3. Lap times show that he's also faster than the other two around him. He actually gained like 7/10 on Yonti on that previous lap. But all of that little kerfuffle, if you want to call it that, between the Fredrickson and the Honda of Bauer has really harmed Thompson's race pace. Ogden is looking like he might be the only person to actually contend with Hackler at any point in this race. But because of all of that, what just went down, Yonti's actually built the gap up back to 3.3 seconds. So he's pretty comfortable with a 13-minute time to work with. I don't think there's going to be enough of a gain from Ogden, even now he's in free air, to be able to close in on Hackler by the time we even get to the final lap. We're going to have to monitor it. Keep an eye on Ogden's lap times. I can guarantee you this one's going to be pretty brutal. 35.2. So he actually lost half a second to Yonti that lap.
Yep. But good to know with kind of the changeover. Like Thompson put in a 38.0. So obviously there was a lot of lost time there. The Ogden, though, he looked like the faster McLaren. It was just taking a moment, biding his time. And this is what I was saying. It was like we didn't know if they were going to follow team orders or if they were going to fight. And fight they did.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's weird because it looked like Thompson actually backed off to let Ogden through, and then it looked like Thompson just completely missed the braking zone because he overshot that corner by a dramatic amount. So, again, whether they're in cahoots with each other, communicating to explain, like, I'm sorry, this happened, blah, 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 watch out. Ogden didn't get affected. He lost half a second, yeah, fair enough, but other than that, in comparison to what Thompson lost, he really lost nothing. There is still a fight going on as well, actually, for P5. This is between Nathan Pierce and Adrian, so Pierce is trying to get past Adrian as soon as he can. However, Adrian is favoured on this track because, oh my word, I may have to eat those words because he closed in such a huge amount in that braking zone that Adrian might actually be in a really bad way. So look, last lap from Adrian was a 35.5. Last lap from Pierce was a 34.6. So huge gains for Pierce. He's looking to take this P5 away from him, but a 23.3 second gap between Thompson and Adrian, I think realistically it's going to be at best P5 for Pierce. We'll see what happens later on, but Christ-wide Oscar, hello, welcome, good to see you. I find it odd how not a lot of people drive the Audi. Why? We've got two, I think, in this split.
Only one in, oh yeah, two in the split, sorry.
Yeah, it's not a bad car. It's a good car. It's actually really, really strong. Even on a track like this, I think a lot of people are just scared of it because it does have a bit of a reputation for being a bit snappy and quite difficult to control. Personally, I actually go so far as to say I think it's my second favorite car in this game after the McLaren. Is it? Oh, Pierce! My word, Pierce, that was late. That was very late. I mean, well played on being so calculated to avoid the contact, but at the same time, that could have gone horribly wrong. And I think overall, it actually lost things. It lost time.
Not clenching.
Yeah, just a tad.
I clenched watching that.
It was twitching like a rabbit's nostril.
However, going back to the battle for the podium, Octane's slower than Hakala.
Yep.
Yeah, it looks like
it done.
Yeah, it looks like he's about 2/10 a lap slower right now. So, unless he can find some pace, the gap between himself and his teammates about 3 seconds, and the gap between himself and Hakala is just under 4 seconds. So, yeah, the McLarens look like they had a moment and they've bottled their only chance of taking that P2 position.
I've just noticed how late Pierce is breaking into that corner. My word. I think he had to break even more just to make sure he didn't get a warning. These guys have got to be close to hitting their 3 warnings for the race. But, Adrian's still continuing. Pierce still going even further. This is going to be a fight to the death, I think. Good evening, Beaker. It's good to see you, boy. I hope you're well. Yonti is a goat. Honestly, Beaker, I don't know if you've seen the race so far. Yonti is my driver of the day, simply for the fact that he has been dealt so many crap cards, and he has handled every single one of them and come out on top. He's P2 after having his car battered literally from the word go. Yeah,
he's been doing so well, and Beaker, if it was you in that car, I imagine there would be many choice words and Beaker blows happening.
No way! No way! Banner's gonna drive through! There is no way!
What?
There is no way that Yonti wins this!
Oh boy!
I do not believe what I am seeing before my eyes.
Oh, I'm in shock. What? What?
There is no way!
Yonti, he's immediately serving this. Oh my god.
I am stunned. How? Yonti has taken physical race lead, and bar any mistakes, he's going to win this.
I told you, when he came out the pits, he's going to win this race.
There is no way.
I called this, Yonti. You can come and snuggle with me tonight.
I mean,
my word.
Huge F's for Barnett, number 1, right? The guy drove so well, and the thing is, this was on him. He made this mistake on his own. There's no one else to blame for this, which is, I guess he's got to take that on himself. And again, bringing it back to what I said before, consistency is his biggest weakness, hands down. But how in the world does Yonti, after everything that he's been hit 4, 5 times, some of them huge contact as well, right? I mean, look at the poor fucker's car. Look at this. Look at his car and tell me that this is a race-winning car. He has been absolutely slapped left, right, and center by a range of different vehicles, and he is going to win this race. What the hell?
There's still 7 minutes. We need to not jinx this. I'm
going home. I'm going home. I can't handle this. This is mental. Absolute scenes. It's a shame we don't do interviews, because I would love to hear his reaction to that race.
Oh my god, I want to drag him in and just be like, dude.
What happened, dude? Tell me. Oh my god, we should try.
So when you were dropped down to P5, did you think, shit, my race is over?
Well, not just that. Race on lap 1, turn 3, when you were slapped by another car and sent back to the 3-wide fight for P3, I think it was, into turn 4. Did you think your race was done at that point? Did you think he was going to end up still winning this race? What the... I mean, he could... In fairness, we're jinxing the crap out of him because he could still get a drive-through penalty for track limits. But at the end of the day, wow.
I mean, he has invalidated this lap as well, so I'm nervous. But yeah, oh my god,
I'm sweating, dude.
Yes. Oh my lord.
There's no way. There is no way.
I honestly, it's this moment where you look at the cards that he's been dealt and how he's managed to overcome it. And again, everything was not his fault. He runs off a little bit wide there. Hopefully that doesn't track limits. That was. Just keep it on the track, please, Jonty. Please, there is only 5 minutes to go.
In a 4-second gap, like he's got nothing to push for. I mean, his last lap was a 34.4. He still gained half a second on Ogden. I mean, we'll see as he goes through the lap here, 35.7. So he's definitely losing time now. But he's got a huge gap to the car behind him that he doesn't actually have to really commit too hard. He can just continue to do what he's been doing previously. And just keep lapping as hard as he possibly can. Thompson is actually under pressure from a back marker to an extent. I think that's already been done and dusted. So I don't think Barnett's going to be retaliating and getting a P3 unless again, yeah, I'm gonna put my foot in my mouth when I say this, but unless one of these guys in the top 3 get their own drive through, I think Barnett will be sitting P4. But
which, to be fair, is still good returns from such a good race. You know, he's not completely ruined his day with that drive-through. But again, this is what we were just saying. It's the consistency for him has always been an issue, and like the aggression that he shows, it needs to be tempered a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he will be winning many, many, many races if he can do that.
Absolutely. I mean, even last week, his pace was phenomenal. He was looking so good. It's just the fact, again, his consistency is the bit that lets him down. It's not that he's not fast. He knows exactly how to drive fast. It's he just can't drive fast and clean every single lap. Whether it ends up being a mistake where he spinales or he ends up being in a situation where he ends up getting himself a drive-through like he has today, you know, that is ultimately, he's taken his own race win away here. And the thing I want to point out, right, is if this was the only race of the evening, I'd be set. I'd be happy for the entire night. I'm already smiling away like crazy, knowing I'm going to be like going to bed thinking about this race in about 2 hours' time or 3 hours' time or whatever. But we have another race after this, and it's going to be, I can almost guarantee you, because I know the people that are in that race, and they already drive incredibly close to each other. It's going to be even more of the same. Like, I can't wait. I'm super hyped. And I mean, it's a bit late in the day now to sort of call this race and say that Barnett's got a chance to pull this back. But I want to point out, he is almost lapping 2 seconds a lap faster than Thompson right now. A 35.8 from Thompson last lap. Barnett did a 34.1. So he's still got crazy level pace. It's just, again, consistency was the problem. Yep.
And speaking of consistency, Jonty, the last 2 laps, was invalidated. So I don't know if every time you invalid, you get yourself a warning. But he's been running a little bit wide in Sector 3 just before the hairpin. And it's been costing him a little bit. So I'm keeping an eye on him this lap to see if he's going to do the same. Because I don't want you to ruin this for me, Jonty. The joy I feel right now.
I'm so worried, dude. I mean, we're only got 2 minutes to go, but this is going to feel longer than the entire race we've had so far. All 58 minutes have been nothing compared to this final 2 that we're going to be experiencing. And there's still fights going on the circuit. Obviously, Pierce is still relatively in range of Adrian. We are talking 1.3 there, about seconds between the two of them. So, Wagner, was that Wagner who just had a big off?
Wagner was big off. He kind of lost it on his own. He like dropped it a little bit, and then Catan looked like he was going to try and slide up the inside, and then Wagner just, unfortunately, as he tried to correct it, launched himself off the track. So, yeah, not ideal from him.
Well, he actually hit the sausage curb going through there, and he got a little bit of air. So you know what? It could have been way worse. He could have found himself dead in a wall and ended up with a wheel pointing the same direction that Bowers was a little bit earlier on in the race, and he didn't deserve. Like, Bauer did nothing wrong. Let me point that out. Apart from that 5-second penalty he got pretty early on in the race, other than that, he did literally nothing wrong. His race was so clean and, you know, ultimately incredible. But, yeah, just a little bit of contact from one driver sent him down the field. He is dead last of the remaining drivers, that is. So P18 is the best he's going to achieve. Wow, this race. Wow, this race. And we're going to get one more lap based on where Yonti is right now.
Honestly, I'm struggling to look. I'm struggling. There is definitely one more lap.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. Please no. Just no. I don't want to watch. I don't want to see this be risked. But it's yeah. After everything that he's been through, it's just please just get this done, and then you can pop the champagne.
This honestly, this screams to me like a Hollywood movie, right? This is the guy has been through everything. This is like the pursuit of happiness, right? He has been through all of the poverty, right? He's struggled through everything. He's been sleeping in bathrooms with his son, trying to get through the night and just to give him some sort of stability. This guy gets hit 4 times in this race. He has been rotated and he's corrected it. He's caught the car when he should have died.
Pierce and Adrian going for it.
Let's have a look at that. Yeah, Pierce is actually looking for a move down the inside. If he can get in towards turn 1, he's going to stick his nose in. Adrian's going to have to give the space. He has done that, but this is going to be favoured for the... Oh my word, they switched back of dreams. They're going to be drag racing all of themselves up towards turn 4. Who's going to be better on the brakes? It is actually favoured for the Porsche, but he's going to have the outside line when a double right-hander will never work. The cutback of dreams is also not viable here, despite the mistake that's made by Adrian. He won't even be able to gain the momentum down the back straight here because of the fact that the Porsche just doesn't have that straight line speed. Or does it? Because Adrian goes so defensive, the Porsche has to come right back over again for the outside line. Through the long sweepy right-hander, later on the brakes, a lot faster through there, but does carry a bit too deep and goes again way too far into the corner. Adrian has held on for P5, but this is so far away from being over because look again, no way is Pierce going to try and send that there. That's so deep. Oh my word, this is fantastic. Oh, what a race this is. And Yonti's won. He's actually done it. Yonti has taken the win. Ogden will take P2. Thompson will cross the line P3, but we've got to go back to Pierce. We've got to go back to Adrian because it's only going to take a wobble from Adrian, and then Pierce is through.
Yeah, he's been all over the back there, but oh man, what a race this has been.
We have one more, dude. We have one more race after this. What more do you need? Oh my word. Adrian has defended well enough to take P5 despite all the efforts that Pierce chucked at him. You know, fair play to the two of them. They gave each other the respect. They gave each other the drive that was needed. And my word, what a fight that was. Vesemel recovers to take a P7, and considering how hard he got absolutely annihilated in the first few laps, you know, fair play to him. Hansen is going to take that P8 as well in his debut, so fair play on that one. Party's coming through for a nice P9. Gareth Walker will take P10 when he does come to the line. And I'm going to message Yonti now. I want to hear from him.
I have already messaged him. I've sent him a message just be like, what the fuck?
Please get your backside in here. We never, ever... I don't think I've actually ever heard OOR ever do interviews, but I am so desperate.
Yeah, I'm voting for this. This is what? I don't even know if you can see this channel, but my lord.
I can drag him. Oh, I can't drag him. Oh, I can't drag him. Can I drag him? Let me try.
I don't know.
Move to. No, I can go anywhere but here.
No. Right, okay.
Cam, please tell us you're awake.
Please fix it.
Cam.
Oh.
I mean, you could group call us. You want to group call us?
We could do this.
Do it. Group call us right now.
Give me a second, I will fix that.
Right, whilst you do that, I'm going to switch to the new race. I am absolutely dripping from that race because what an absolute sensational fight that was. And now we're going to go into another race, doing the exact same thing. I'm probably going to experience the same level of craziness that was. We are still in free practice, so don't worry, guys and girls. You've not missed anything just yet. Oh. I am lost for words. Oh,
right,
the group?
call. Yep, about to make the call, so...
Okay, let me know if he accepts. Has he accepted? Let's have a look. I think he... Is he here? Yonti?
Not,
oh,
yeah.
Come on, answer the damn call, Yonti. Don't do this to me, dude. We need you right here. He's probably celebrating, in fairness. He's probably going, yeah, let's go. I'd be losing my mind if I was in his shoes. You wouldn't even believe.
Yeah, he's here.
Yonti! My God. How are you feeling after that race? You don't push the talk, by the way.
Yeah, not anymore.
It's...
How are you feeling?
You feeling good?
Yeah, I'm sweaty.
You need to watch that race back, and I'm sure you... Oh, God. I've just completely chucked Coke and rum all over my keyboard.
As you do.
Yeah.
That's how excited he is, Jonty.
Genuinely lost my mind on that race. Tell me, when you had the initial contact, lap 1, did you actually believe you was going to get away with what you got?
I mean, I wasn't sure. I mean, I for sure was going to need some luck, which I, in the end, also managed to get. I got some damage out of the contact in turn 2. I haven't checked the replay though. I'm not sure what happened there, to be honest. But I'll have a look at that later.
Oh my God, my keyboard's got mental. My keyboard is losing its mind right now. I don't know what's happening. I am still live, I believe. Yes. Okay. You may have to bear with me, chat, because unfortunately, I spilt drink all over my keyboard. And as a result, my keyboard is now sending random messages to my game. So I actually don't know anything that's going on. Okay, the game's closed. I'm bringing it back. I promise you. In fact, we'll go to the studio screen right now whilst I fix this. I mean, look at this.
So terrifying. Is Ragster back?
I'm
Welcome
back,
back.
but I've had to unplug my keyboard because it basically shut everything down. The stream is still running. I am still live, but unfortunately, my keyboard is completely fucked.
Yonti, this is what you've done to this man.
I'll drive slower next time.
Just blown. My keyboard is drunk. It's actually drunk. My game closed as
hang
well.
It upside down.
I have done. I've unplugged it. It'll be fine tomorrow. I'm almost certain of it. But I didn't.
Yeah, it's still free practice. So like, you know,
yeah, we're good.
You've got time. You've got time. But yeah, continuing from the moment you got disconnected, Yonti, you had the contact. You had a near death experience. But I want to talk about the pits because that was so beautifully timed, and your pace coming out of the pits was incredible. I said as you were coming out the pits, you're going to be fighting for the win, and Raggy laughed at me. It was like, that is a bold claim. That is a very, very bold claim. And then what did you do? You got the win.
I mean, yeah, the pit stop. It was probably the best pit stop I've ever done because my pit entry was exact. I stopped at the exact correct place in the pit box as well, so there was no delay with that. So I think I gained some time there because the driver behind me, I think it was Octane who was behind me. He went into the pits a lap before me, but I managed to be 3.5 seconds ahead of him out of the pits. Which was fortunate. I did not repair the initial damage there just because I hoped to be ahead, because I felt track position was the more important part in that. But yeah, luckily the drivers ahead of me then took a bit longer time for them to go to the pits, and I managed to undercut the other McLaren who was ahead of me. And when Bauer came out of the pits, he came out just in front of me. I was trying to find a way to challenge him, but he was just placing the car in the correct places. But unfortunately for him, obviously he got absolutely destroyed
he got
by
to the Shadow Realm.
Yeah, And
Oh.
in the same incident there as well, his car bounced off the wall into mine, and I suffered a bit more damage that time. I had a flicker in right-hand side headlight and 20 seconds of damage on the front end. So especially turning left-hand corners was very tricky.
So you can probably say that Bika's your lucky charm, because he came into the chat and he said Yonti's GOAT, and I was like, mate, if you've not been watching this race, like the fact that Yonti's in P2 right now is incredible. Oh my God, Yonti's going to be leading this race.
It honestly was phenomenal. I literally, I'm going to go back after the stream and clip the moment when we saw the drive-through penalty come through, because we both lost our minds. I so much so, I've completely fucked an 80 quid keyboard. And my desk is still soaked right now. I need to go get a towel and wipe it all up. I've had to go and grab like a shitty £10 keyboard that I've got lying around for this exact moment, because this is not the first time this has happened. Just so I can get the stream back on track, because holy crap, I cannot believe you won that race. I'm still in shock. I'm gonna go to bed absolutely beaming from ear to ear after that race. Holy.
Yeah, I mean,
Yes.
I'll for sure have a look at that race afterwards. But yeah, my pace was pretty okay. I think the race pace was without any damage. I think I could have done more with just the skill, and obviously I needed a bit of luck for this. Luckily, the lead driver managed to get himself a 4th warning for a drive-through for me. So.
What warnings were you on?
I had 0.
What?
I were noticing at the end,
There's
you had,
no
like, you
way.
went wide at a couple of turns, and it was like, oh, that's invalid, but I don't think that's a warning. So it was just like, literally, we were on the edge of our seat, being like,
No
please,
way.
please, God.
I mean,
no
every
way you're on
time
0.
I was on 0. Every time I ran wide somewhere, I just lifted enough. I lost like half a second every time I did that mistake, but it's still better than a drive-through.
What a hero. Absolute
way.
hero.
You're mental. Absolutely insane. I am so glad you're my teammate for the Enduro series, which if you guys haven't signed up, go and do right now. There's literally at least 5 team slots available, so please go and sign up. But Yonti, we have to go because it's qualifying time in the next race. But congrats, man. Really, really well done. You deserve that.
So happy, honestly, so happy for you. It's been incredible. But we all love you and leave you, and go and celebrate. Have some champagne. Get your winner's wreath. Do anything you want to do. This is your night, sir. This is your night.
Yeah. Holy.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it a lot, guys. And yeah, have a nice time watching the next one.
Oh,
Yeah.
we will. We will. Good night, mate. Badger, I'll see you back in the room.
Yep. Love you. Bye.
Love you, bye. Hey,
Good
nice
to
to
hear.
see you. Oh my word. I am absolutely lost for words. I cannot believe that we just saw that unfold. I still need to clear my desk. You got to cover for me whilst I clear my desk. I'm going to be right back.
Get a towel.
Jesus.
Don't worry, guys. He needs to clear his desk every time he speaks to Yonti. But yeah, having a look through the drivers just now, we've got Spence Rob with a beautiful time, but Rosendal's actually just managed to pip him by about 2/10. Spence Rob going through just now on a better lap. He's coming through the final sector. He should be able to pip back to P1 again, but Rosendal and Spence Rob look like the two on form at the moment. Looking back, Delo's about almost a second down on what Rosendal's managed to do, and now he's as a second down on what Spence Rob's managed to do. But those two are just so far in front of the field right now, so we'll need to keep an eye on them for the race. But also, I do believe that there'll be more pace in the car for a bunch of these guys out there just now, so we will definitely keep an eye on it. Mead is round setting his first lap, as is Adam Black. We'll keep an eye on those guys as well. I don't know why Hussein's still in the pits. He's not set a valid time yet, but here it looks like he's just coming out. So we will keep him on our radar. Hopefully the bottom 3 welcome back. But hopefully the bottom three will be able to set some valid times. Still 9 minutes left to go, so that will be all good for them. And it sounds like Raggy's still having a moment to himself.
I cannot believe he did that, dude. That's insane. There's no way he pulled that off. I walked out of the room to go grab a towel, and I was still laughing to myself like, that's mental. But I honestly, I was like, if he gets even a podium, after lap 1, I was like, if he gets a podium, that's impressive. Like, to get the win.
Yeah.
Holy!
I called it. You're welcome.
Wow. I would never have predicted that. Never have predicted that. But regardless of all of that, we have 8 minutes of this split, which is the final split for the European Series here today. Reese Spence Rob, a very familiar name for the European OOR Series. Incredible driver. Very, very, very quick. Actually chucking in a 33-1 in qualifying in these conditions, a 26-degree track. And if he's able to do a 33-1, that's pretty damn good going. For reference, around about the similar sort of temperature, it was slightly less in the Asia-Pacific yellow split, where the likes of Philippa Pekida and also in another split, Andy O'Hara, who is arguably probably the fastest person in Asia-Pacific, they set 32.5 as the pole time in the, like I said, the Asia-Pacific region. So if he's doing a 33.1, yes, it's about 6/10 off thereabouts, but it's still a really good indication of just where about Reese Spence Rob is worldwide in terms of pace. Again, same for Rosendahl and same for Luke Francis. Look at the times. Luke Francis is literally 6 thousandths behind Rosendahl right now, and they're both still less than 2/10 away from where Reese Spence Rob is as it sits. He's not currently improving, whereas Luke Francis is. He's about a 10th up right now. And I actually want to give a couple of shout outs to some of his fans, some of his friends. LJ Speed, hello, good evening. And same for my name is Yogi. Welcome. We're going to go on board with Luke because he is going into the final hairpin. And we're going to watch, see if he can carry this 1/10 and a bit, maybe. 2/10 now. He might actually take provisional pole. This could be massive.
Looks like he's on it right now. He's gaining just enough time that it will move him forward, but he's just lost it there. But still, that should be a nice healthy P2, which it is. But yeah, he definitely looks like he can potentially be on the front today, so we'll keep an eye if he's able to go faster. Reese Spence Rob's still in the pits at the moment, but he'll be almost definite to come back out and make sure he defends that pole position that he's currently got.
My desk is covered in rum and coke. I mean, I've wiped it with a towel, but everywhere I keep moving my arm, I'm just consistently getting more
sticking
and more
to the table.
It really is. I've got to try and do a rescue mission on my key. I might even just have to buy a new keyboard, to be honest. Celebrate for my birthday tomorrow. Buy myself a new keyboard. But you know what, Yonsei? He blew my mind tonight, and if I have to buy a new keyboard to celebrate his victory, fine. I'll take it. BRB going on Amazon right now. See you in a bit.
But yeah, just having a look through, Delo is also improving. He's about 4/10 up. That should jump him up to P7 as it stands. Yep, that has indeed jumped him up to P7. So a little bit of a gap to the guys in front, Serede, but you could definitely see if we're making move that. Who else looks like the Hussein's going about 6/10 faster right now, so that's definitely going to jump him up a bit as well. He potentially will be jumping up to P7, P6, and we'll see if he is able to finish that lap out cleanly. He's not much further to go.
Throw the keyboard in the dishwasher because it works on Linus Tech Tips. I think I'll pass. To be honest, it is a common occurrence that I spill a liquid of sorts, usually alcohol. Not that I'm an alcoholic, but, you know, try and convince that to your family when you... Anyway. So, a few of my keys were already pretty scuffed from the previous times I've dropped alcohol in it, so... I should probably just buy myself a new one. I will probably buy myself a new one, but I just don't know where to go. Don't know what to get. I'll let you guys give me some suggestions. Any of you tech nerds out there like my brother, actually?
Myself.
Are you a keyboard tech nerd? I know you're a normal tech nerd, but are you a?
I mean, I'm on all sorts of tech nerd.
Oh.
My problem is I'm such a nerd that there are no keyboards on the market that suit me. Like
Wow.
none,
Okay.
zero. One of the conditions I need for my keyboard is to have a bunch of macro keys, and now like all you can buy are like they come with like 6. And I'm like, nah, that's not enough. My current one has like 18, and then you can set it to like 3 different modes and stuff, so you can like basically have like fucking 3 different sets of like 18 different keys. And it's like, I need that, but no one does this anymore, and it makes me really, really sad.
Rosendal was up 10th and a bit there until he came to the hairpin, and it's all gone. Oh, he's got 10th back. Oh, never mind, that's invalidated.
Yep. It's invalid, but you know who's not invalid and is getting a few 10s at the moment is Chris Finan. He currently looks like he will potentially be P3, P2, or maybe even pole if he can keep it going, because he's still got a fair chunk of the lap left to go. He's about 3.5 tenths off of pole position as it stands, and he is up about 2.5 tenths. So we'll keep an eye on him this lap. See if he's able to move himself up the grid.
Oh, somebody else to watch as well. Abdullah Hussein, 6 tenths up, and he's only 6.5 tenths away from pole time right now. So there are 2 people right now that are contending for a potential potential pole position. Again, Chris has lost a tenth or 2. He's actually back. Oh,
Nope.
I am eating my words. He's just suddenly recalled it back. He got to about 3 tenths again. Again, he's dropped it once more coming through. Is he going to be able to climb a position or 2? He's only got 1 more corner to go. That is the final corner. I've seen a 2 tenths. I've seen a 1 tenth. It's back down to 1. Is he going to get anything? He does improve, but he's almost 500ths of a second. Just a bit off of what Rosendal is checking in right now. Abdullah Hussein, though, still up, but no longer at the 6 tenth he was at before. It's half a second still. Oh,
yep.
6 tenths there. He's bringing it back.
Rob, he is currently also improving.
Yep.
So we'll keep an eye on those 2. Abdullah was saying can go provisional pole, but he is losing a little bit of time in this final sector. So we need to keep an eye. He's still P3 on the cards as it stands, and P4 it ends up just shy of Rosendal. But Spence Rob, he's nearly 2 tenths up on what he was doing. He's now 2 tenths up. Can he get into the 32s? He's in the 32s. He's in the 32s. Go for it.
He's got it.
32.
He's got it. Spence Rob is a beast. I mean, it was all really close between them, and then Spence Rob just lays the smack down. He's brought it to 2.5 tenths now between him and Luke Francis. Luke Francis is not improving as it sits on this lap. He will have enough time to go again, so he needs to make sure that the final run he does is sufficiently faster. And to make it worse, Spence Rob was actually going a tenth faster than his previous lap that he just did. I mean, right now he's back up to a 10th, so he's going even quicker than he was before. He's genuinely esport level pace right now.
Yep, he's doing incredible things right now. You know, I would be impressed to see anyone else get into the 32s. He just looks so connected with the car right now. You know, if you drive on board with him, he's just so smooth. It's not like he's not having to wrestle the car to get that pace. He's just eking it into the corners and just so casual, so calm. It's so good to see. Just the control and consistency.
Luke, what is a 10th? Oh, he's gained another 10th as Spence Rob. 2 tenths! There's no way he's gaining this 2 tenths. Is he actually going to bring this across the line? He's on 1 tenth again now. The gap he's sort of hovering around that point. He is actually genuinely going faster than he was before. Coming through the final corner. He's just lost that time. I think he might improve just minorly. Nope, he does not. But he has crossed the line and he's currently looking good for a provisional pole. Luke Francis, who is P2 right now, is actually just dead even with his PB. But if he could bring 2 tenths and a bit in the final sector, he should be all right.
That was 2 laps in a row that were 132 from Spence Rob. That is incredible pace.
He was 3 thousandths different in that last lap compared to his best, which was a lap before that. So you could not get any more consistent if you tried. That was literally identical. So good stuff from him. Unfortunately, Luke Francis has made a bit of a boo-boo on this lap. He is unfortunately invalidated, and that is the end of the qualifying session. So yes, he's still P2, but the pace that Respawn's Rob chucked down just then is kind of an indication that he is, he's going to need a lot more than what he's got currently if he wants to take this race win away from, I don't want to say untouchable, because it's not quite untouchable, but a very, very, very quick Respawn's Rob. Yeah,
I'm going to say it, untouchable. Like, that threw down a marker. You know, 0.3 faster than your nearest opposition. Yeah, that's incredible. You know, it kind of gave me like Singapore Lewis Hamilton feels when he was like 1.2 seconds faster than the rest of the field. You're like, where did that come from?
Yeah, exactly. So we did in last race. We'll do it again in this race. I want to hear from you guys in the chat, but I also want to hear from you, Mr. Badger. What is your top 3 prediction for the end of this race? Is Respawn's Rob going to carry it all the way through and win? Is he going to have a traditional first couple lap fuck up, which is going to put him further down the field? Or is somebody else just going to find pace suddenly, I'm looking at Luke Francis here, and actually then take it to Reese in this race itself? Let me know in the chat what you think your 1, 2, 3 prediction is going to be for this. We have the entirety of the formation lap to discuss it. But in the meantime, Badger, hit me with your 1, 2, 3.
My 1, 2, 3 is pretty boring, honestly.
You're going to say as is, aren't you?
No, actually, Respawn's Rob, Rosendahl, Francis.
Oh, you think Luke's going to lose out?
I do think Luke's going to lose out. I think he's going to lose out on the start. We will see, obviously, but like I don't know. I feel that Rosendahl, obviously, he showed some really good pace. Him and Luke were very, very, very close. But yeah, I just feel that he'll get a good start. We've seen just how good the Lambo is. Yeah, I think he can do it. I think he can hit Francis and then keep the position.
Okay. I mean, the Porsche is rapid off the start, so wouldn't be surprised there, to say the least. Let's catch up with a couple of people in the chat. So Yuzzy, or Yuzzy, I think it's actually pronounced Yuzzy. If you can confirm, that would be awesome. Says Francis P1, Vining P2, Spence Rob P3. So that's expecting there's going to be some sort of major malfunction for Spence Rob that's going to put him down into P3, or at least down somewhere that he's going to have to then bring it back. We'll have to wait and see. We also have Helen Francis in the chat, who is Luke Francis's sister. It says, hello. Hello, Helen. How are you? Are you putting Luke on race win, or are you putting him... Where are you... In fact, yeah, tell us where you're putting him. What are we predicting here for him? And how do you pronounce that? Can I call you Pajana? Because that name is very difficult to pronounce. It says Frank P1. The rest doesn't matter. Alrighty. I mean, I can get behind that. Mr. Peabody.
Pajana. That's my attempt. That's my attempt.
Say again. Dare you?
Krishna Pajana. That's what I'm going for. I'm going for it. I said it better the first time. I'm going to go back to the replay because I definitely said it better the first time.
Yeah,
but I'm going for that. We'll go for that.
You definitely scuffed it the second time in comparison to the first. The first one sounded perfect. It's like you read it from somewhere.
Pajana. Let's go with that. I'm getting it. I'm getting it there. We're good.
We'll find out. Very quickly, because we are going up to the final corner in just a second, I want to just confirm. Mr. Peabody says Spence Rob P1, Francis P2, Mead P3. Mead is going to need a monster of a race if he's going to pull that one off. But let's go aboard then with the helicam on the home straight. Reese Spence Rob set himself on pole. He's going to start this race ahead of Luke Francis, who's going to be drag racing him towards turn 1. And this is favor for Reese, and we are away. Off we go. Big jump there from the McLaren at the back. We've also got another GTR fighting a sister GTR. Going down the inside of 3 wide into turn 1 is not ideal, and they do decide to fix that quite quickly. And the McLaren goes into the side of Lamborghini. That was Hussein into Rosendahl. Sends him off to the side of the circuit. Let's have a look at the rejoin. No, the GTRs are sideways, but they've just a bit clipped into the side of the McLaren as well, which is Hussein, unfortunately. He has been pointing the wrong direction and is now at the back of the grid.
Yeah, that's unfortunate there, but I'm just having a look to see who else has all been caught up in that. There's quite a lot of cars that have just realistically plummeted from their start position.
Well, one of them Chris Vining, who I've seen some of the people in the chat saying he's going to be up there in P2. Well, that ain't happening now. Well, I said that about Yonti, and look what happened. So I'm shutting my big fat mouth, and I'm going to just wait and see what happens at the end of this race. But
I told you, Yonti was winning that race, and you had no faith. No faith in me.
With good reason, in fairness. With good reason, because it looked like it was not happening, but yeah.
You know, as you were saying, though, Mead was going to need a hell of a race to get up into the podium positions. Guess who's up in the podium positions?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. You know, huge scenes right now, but very early doors. It's literally lap 1. There's a long way to go in this race. Respins Rob did do as you said and got a nice good start off the run from the lights going green. He got away quite cleanly. Luke Francis had a bit of a scare. There was almost contact between him and the McLaren that was behind him, who ended up crashing into the side of Rosendale a little bit and sent them off the side. James Mead capitalized massively, getting himself up to P3. Really good job from him. And Matt Dello, P5 right now. This is somebody who we know quite often to be a hot lapper. The consistency, very similar to Barnett, but a bit worse, I think, when it comes to Dello. The consistency is not quite in his favor. However, this is a different day. Who knows what Matt Dello's brought to the table today? We'll have to monitor it as we go throughout this entirety of the race, which we do still have 57 minutes and 47 seconds to go. This is going to be, I reckon, a clash of the Titans.
Can we burn Mr. Peabody as a witch?
Yeah, I think we should, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's unnerving how quickly that came into Mr. Peabody's favour.
My only worry for Spence Rob is the Porsche is very well known for snapping and just ripping your neck clean off, right? So if I'm not trying to jinx him in any way, believe me when I say this, but if he goes
3 minutes in and you're trying to kill him,
this is not what it is, all right? Leave me alone. It is going to be quite brutal, but let's quickly catch up on the chat. So, Francis Pham in the house. Yes, that's what we like to see. Helen says, I'm good, thanks. Could be a P2, but obviously hoping for a P1. I think the thing is, Luke Francis, I think, is somebody who has that consistency. You know, when he does get the ability to put some practice in, I know he's just gone through a whole house move, so practice was a thing of the past for a temporary period of time. It looks like he's had time to put some practice in today. I mean, if he's chucking in those lap times, then almost certainly he is. And actually now able to get himself up into the top 3, P2 in qualifying, holding P2 at the race start as well. If he is just that little bit more consistent than Respins Rob, we may see, you know, the P1. We'll have to wait and see. LJ Speed loving the support. Yes, sir. That's what I like to see. Robbins, how you doing? Good evening. JC, good evening. Good to see you. And Spring Book, how we doing? Welcome.
That's not our JC, is it?
No, that's an imposter JC.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. How dare?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's imposter JC.
Having a look through the field, Christoph Holzer is getting right onto the back of Dello right now. So our boy Christoph Holzer, he's looks like he's keeping Dello honest, which is good to see. That McLaren just getting nice and close to the Ferrari.
We've also got this battle for P2 is hot. James Mead all over the back of Luke Francis. I also want to point out Reece Spence Rob and James Mead are a team for the 3-hour endurance races that OOR are putting on there. So, good segue, guys. If you are interested in endurance racing, I'll say endurance racing, it's a smaller version of endurance race, 3-hour long each, but they are done in like a league format of a series of 4 races. Get yourself into the OOR Discord. Get yourself signed up. You only need one other teammate in order to get involved. It's really easy to sign up. I don't know why you wouldn't do it. I'm in it. I know that you know, obviously some of these guys are in there as well. I'm looking forward to seeing who will be the strongest duo out there. I'm telling you now, it's going to be me and Yonsei. So yeah, you better come fight us.
Throwing that gauntlet down.
Wearing some shade.
It looks like we've had Christoph Holzer. He's on the wall.
Well, let's have a quick look exactly what happened then. Let's go back 30 seconds so we can see it. He looks okay here going in towards turn 4. It looks like it's actually coming out onto that straight is where he seems to have had an issue. Flying through there, tiny bit deep. Really anything to be worried about. Oh, it's going to be the curbs. Going to be the curbs. Yep, there you go. Curbs. He actually avoided the wall, in fairness.
Well done, though. That was very, very close, but he's managed to keep it out. We'll see if he's able to salvage anything from this race, but right now he's down in dead last.
Hey, Gee, how you doing, mate? It's good to see you. Rag, have you got livery yet? Yes. An in-game livery, of course, not a custom, because we're not allowed to do customs as far as I know. But yes, I have got one. It is actually quite a nice one, to be honest. Yonti doesn't like it, but luckily it's
Yonti has taste.
Sorry.
I just want to go back actually. What you see when you said that the battle for P2 is hot? Like I just imagined you as like Chris Rock from Fifth Element, you know.
Yeah.
Hot.
I should do that voice.
Yes, you should. And you should dress up in like the leopard print thing that he has.
Yeah, big staff and everything. Yeah, it looks so good. I could pull it. I could pull it off without a doubt. I think you could. I've got the dance moves to go with it, trust me. You haven't seen my hips, they don't lie.
Trust me, I have seen the moves.
Oh no, I know what you're on about. No,
Yes.
no, not like this. Luckily, Anthony Seredy and Carl Tillett are actually fighting, and actually, Seredy is looking... Whoa, never mind. It's a nice four-way fight. Seredy's got the run on the Lambo. This is where the GTR should be favored. Actually, both GTRs. Chris Vining, he's recovering like a champ right now. Back up to P9, taking P8 in just a second, but his teammate Seredy going wheel to wheel with Carl Tillett going through the long right-hander. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. The GTR is through. Carl Tillett is wide. We're going to watch Chris Vining as he's now going to try and replicate the exact same thing his teammate did. But he might have to wait a little bit longer because this is quite an awkward area to go for an overtake.
Yeah, it's a little bit. You know, it's you can see that he was kind of trying to size up the cutback there, but it looks like he was going to attempt the dive, but the door was closed, and now that's actually potentially going to allow him to be attacked from behind from Lozelle. Really, probably wasn't worth it, but he could maintain the position here. He goes slightly defensive. He manages to maintain position, and Lozelle manages to slot back in behind. But yeah. Vining nearly threw away his hard work there. He kind of just stuck the nose in and then immediately realised, nope, this is a bad idea.
Yeah. I mean, good heads-up driving from him to achieve that, you know, to make sure he didn't actually have any sort of collision, because that could have gone hella wrong, but obviously it didn't, which is exactly what we like to see. He is running quite wide through that corner, though. He needs to be really careful he doesn't hit the sausage curbs any harder than he just did, because they will not just end your race, they will end your career. They are so high, and they will honestly be horrific. Now, we are watching still the same battle that has been going on for quite a while in the entirety of this race so far between Luke Francis and James Mead. James Mead, the chasing car in the Aston Martin, trying to get as close as possible to Luke Francis, who seems to have a good enough exit coming out of that hairpin that allows him to just hold that position quite comfortably from James Mead. But lap on lap, James is so close to the pace that Luke Francis is making. He's actually 0.03 of a second faster than Luke, but I think that's more down to the toe than anything. So this is going to be a fight that will rage on until either one of them gets a penalty, or one of them hits the curbs and dies, or they finally make a mistake and one of them capitalizes.
Yeah, it's definitely, their pace is very, very similar, and you know, we've said before that there's lots of areas in this track that invite you to be close, but don't really invite a pass. So he does need to try and time his moment well. But yeah, Mead is just, he's driving so well, so consistently. And one thing I have noticed is in the high speeds, he seems to be avoiding the apex quite well, but it looks like he's close enough to try and go and brake late round the outside, see if he can make it stick. But no, he just didn't brake late enough and has to slot back in behind. But yeah, he was kind of avoiding the apexes a little bit. Just, I don't know if that was just to avoid potential being sent off and death, but it was rather wide from them.
My worry here is Luke looks like he's going a bit too defensive. I mean, realistically, Reese is faster lap on lap. Let's have a look at lap times. So last lap from Reese Spencer was a 33.6. Last lap from Luke Francis was a 33.8. James Mead did a 33.9, so yeah, Reese is still pulling the gap. At the same time, I guess you would say that, yeah, well, Luke is still defending, and I think the problem you've got here for Francis is I'm worried about his track limits. I've seen him go wide a few occasions. I don't know if he's got any warnings yet, but to me it looked like there's at least 1 or 2 on there, and if that is the case, with 49 minutes to go, that is not spelling a good end for his race.
There's still plenty of time left in this race, though, and obviously everyone still has a pit stop to make. So that we saw in the last race just how powerful the pit stops could be, but it now looks like Mead is trying to go up the inside. He's alongside, and he's done just enough to get his car in front, and Francis just lets him by.
I'm going to watch it again because we did just miss it on stream. So, yeah, it looks like James was just able to carry that little bit more momentum. He got himself alongside enough that he basically inherited some space, some respect there from Luke as well to make sure, well, look, we don't need to fight too hard. I don't need to hit you. Let's just see how we get on in this race because right now, yeah, you're pretty quick. But I'm going to use your toe. And I'm going to bide my time and see how we go. As Lizelle and Tillett, they're having a little bit of a scrap themselves. Lizelle is through, nice and simple. Tillett is having a little bit of, not looking too pacey, but he's looking consistent. And that we've already seen in the last race. Penalties came in thick and fast throughout. We saw quite a few drive-throughs as well because of track limits. So, even if you are running this far down, like Tillett is, and even Holzer, for example, you only need a couple of people to make some mistakes and get some drive-throughs, and you're Gucci. You're absolutely straight back up there again in those high point scoring positions and actually closing yourself up a little bit when it comes to the standings. These are happy days for you if you can make it work.
Yep. Anytime you can capitalize on someone else, that's great. And this is what we've been saying since we started this series: is consistency will win you championships. Yep. It doesn't matter how fast you are. We've seen King, for example. King is incredibly rapid, but he has had problems. He's had issues with consistency. He's messed up qualifying. He's had penalties. He's had damage, and because of that, he should have been winning a lot of those races, and in the end, he just didn't. He was dropping many positions because he was being inconsistent. And I'm not saying that he is not a driver who can be consistent. He absolutely is. But he was getting involved in incidents and just taking a lot out of the car. And we saw him be like 3 seconds a lap faster than anyone on the field. But then every time he overtook someone, he ended up spinning it out on his own.
Yeah, so, exactly.
Yeah, he's definitely got the pace, and he's definitely a fantastic driver. But because of that lack of consistency in certain areas, he has cost himself a ton of points in this championship.
Yeah, I couldn't have said it better myself. That's literally how bad it can be sometimes, and it has been sometimes in this race. But I'm just double checking where Rosendahl is. He is on the back of this fight for P2, but he's just a tiny bit too far back. It's about 1.4 seconds is the gap. Luke Francis has actually lost a little bit of time to James Mead as well here. Let's have a look at previous laps. They are about to cross the line. 34.1 for James Mead, 34.5 for Luke Francis. So James is now starting to pull some time. And just as a reference point on how that is comparing to the leader at a 33.6. So that's half a second difference between P1 and P2's lap times. And, James is running in free air, so he's got nobody to really blame this on. This is just down to the two of them.
I would like to point out, however, the leader is an alien.
Yeah, that's true. Not from this world. In fact, if anybody could tell us where he's from, we can get in touch with his family and they can claim him back again because
we can let them know. Yeah, we can let them know that there's been so much champagne sprayed in his honour.
Too much champagne sprayed in his honour. Speaking of champagne, do you like the taste of champagne?
Not particularly, but I'll drink it.
It's one of them drinks that you drink because it's there, right? It's not a drink that you go, yeah. I actually really like this drink. I'm going to go buy some and drink it myself. You drink it because it's like, it's a celebratory drink. But I'm wondering whether or not somebody made that drink. I was like, this is awful. But why don't I put this as like a...
I'll give it away first.
Yeah, there's like a celebrity drink. You got to drink this because it's to celebrate. That's what champagne is for. It's a celebration drink. But it tastes like ass. I hate it. Anyway, ran over. Moving on.
Fine, we can celebrate with a rum. How does that sound?
Oh, spiced rum.
Imagine
You've got me sold.
imagine trying to spray rum on a podium.
It'd just be like a little brown liquid just dropping, like water just falling on the ground. Now rum and coke. Yeah, got me there.
There we go.
Yeah, now.
That's what we need to do. We need to have like a, start like a junior racing league. So they obviously can't have alcohol, but then you give them like cola and Mentos. And
Mentos
be like,
and coke. Yeah.
just
just go mad. That would be so good. That'd be so good. Yes, we're doing that going forwards. All right,
yeah.
We're gonna get a nice little junior league. We're gonna send him a bottle of coke and a pack of Mentos, and we've got to record them just going mental with a bottle of coke and Mentos. That is perfect. Why have we not thought of this sooner? Selling point right there. Marketing campaign. Mulek! Get a Coca-Cola sponsorship.
We're about to make you rich.
Or broke. One of the two. Here we go with Selikans, who's going to go for a send down the inside of Max Trainer. Yeah, Max gives him the space. No mistakes made from Selikans. That's a rotation.
No.
Big smash from Hussein, Abdullah Hussein, who was unfortunately a passenger in there, but a big side-on T-bone has put Selikans a bit further down. It's unfortunate, but
yeah, and
he just cooked it.
He done the right thing though. He did wait until Hussein had passed him before he put down the throttle again, which is good to see, because he definitely would have been passed by Hussein otherwise. So, he just let him by because there was Hussein was just a passenger there. There was nothing he could have done to avoid that.
Yeah, I mean, Hussein, we obviously saw earlier what happened with him when he had that send onto, I think it was Rosendahl, and then, bigger collisions following that shortly after. It does kind of show, he's had a bit of a rough race, but that one, innocent. Nothing he could have done there at all. Just a passenger with now a bit of front end damage.
And
let's have a look how bad that is. Let's go on board and have a look how bad his front end is. Ooh.
That's shaky. That is very shaky.
Is his bonnet flapping? His bonnet's flapping. That is the biggest distraction in the world when your bonnet's flapping, by the way.
Wow, yeah. That would definitely, especially for the next 41 minutes, be very annoying.
It really, really would. Luke Francis, our P3 runner right now, started P2, fell at P3 because James Mead made a beautiful overtake, is still in attack range of James Mead. The lap times previously, 34.0 for James Mead, 34.1 for Luke Francis. So I think Luke is starting to feel a bit more comfortable. He's starting to rein in a little bit of time compared to where he was previously. However, a 33.735 is what his best lap is so far this race. Relatively speaking, James Mead did a 33.702. So, and actually, Luke has just gained 2/10 that lap. So this is definitely looking a bit more favour for Luke, and he's in the effective tow range of James Mead. So he should start getting pulled forward.
So, I believe Spence Robb has set identical lap times again. A 1:33.666 for the last 2 laps.
That's both concerning for the 606 part and impressive for how can he be so consistent?
And that fast.
Yes, actually. Very good point.
That is ridiculous. He is at least 4 tenths faster than anyone else on the track.
I just want to say I could do that in the McLaren. You know what I'm saying? That's a fat lie.
Big rag ego.
Hey. Matt Dello is about to get a nice GTR pounding soon because he's going to have 2 GTRs who are both lapping faster than him starting to close in. And they're really going to be getting quite aggressive on him soon, and he's going to have to figure out how to defend it. Which, if I see a big chungus like that in my mirrors, I'm moving out of the way.
Beware the chungus.
I mean, it's an injured chungus because Seredy does have damage on his right hand side, but still, it doesn't look like it's affecting him at all. 34.4 is a very quick lap time. A 34.1 from Chris Vining. Overall, looking pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, and again.
Oh, that won't help him.
Remind.
Yeah, that one
Devil's
open.
made the big boo-boo, and that allows one of the Chungai through.
Chungai. Yes. I think that's a singular form of Chungus. Chungai.
Yeah, having a look at Hussein's now coming out of the pits as well. He's done his mandatory pit stop. Unfortunate for him, he's still way down the order because of the issues that he's had. But now
He's also served his penalty, hasn't he?
Yep, he has served it.
Oh, Chris Vining through. Easy slaps. Imagine serving a 15-second penalty on top of your already long 30-second penalty.
Yeah.
That's heartbreak. Although, I've been watching a load of the track limits these guys have been putting down. There is no way that we're not going to see a multitude of drive-thrus in the next sort of 10 minutes. I reckon we're seeing at least 3 people get drive-thrus in the next 10 minutes.
Yeah, it's very, very possible. There's been a few. There's 4 people invalid this lap. 5 people now. As Francis just invalidated as well. Now, obviously, as we saw from the last race, if you ease off a little bit, you can avoid.
He's in.
Oh, he's in. He's coming into the pits. Oh, this could be a move.
This could be huge.
This could be a move.
I've just realised how massive this is because we saw in the last race the undercut was enormous and it really, really pulled everyone forwards. If he's starting to feel as though, I'm fast, but I could get a little bit more if I just quickly flick off do the undercut, Luke Francis could be pulling the big brain play that he needs to take that P2 back again. I think P1 is probably a bit of a stretch unless Reese Spence Rob decides to stay out for a longer and Luke is able to chuck in like mid 33s or whatever, then maybe we can see it. But P2, as it sits, would be a massive gain for him.
To be honest, I think the pace difference for Spence Rob is probably too great. That even on this fresh tyres, I can't see it unless he has, something mental happen. Francis, I think he should be gaining on Mead, but whether he'll gain on Spence Rob, that would be a big ask. But what he has given himself is he's given himself plenty of clean air. Look around where he is now. There is no one. He's got so much space in front. He'll have so much space behind. Like, no one's going to be attacking him. He is good. He can just set the pace that he wants to set. And honestly, I think this works out perfectly for him. He's timed this absolutely, utterly to perfection.
And the other thing to think about is, we saw in the last race as well, you don't necessarily know what your tire pressures need to be until you're on the track, right? So he will be looking at from the first stint and going, well, they need adjusting slightly to match because maybe I overpressured them a little bit or underpressured them a little bit. I now know that I was 0.3 behind or whatever. Could easily then adjust that for the second stint, which is what he's doing right now. And then, start chucking in some crazy lap times. So don't expect this lap to be any good from him because, again, this is out lap, so he's going to lose loads. And then when it comes to his lap after that, that's when we're going to start to get an idea as to just how different the situation is for him as we see going forward. So, GTRs, P4 and P5, that is Seredy and Vining. Seredy, the leader of the two of them, for the moment at least. When a little bit of a wobble like you just had there, could see pain like you've never seen before. So yes, this is going to be quite a tough one. I want to see how these guys battle this one out cleanly because they are obviously teammates. They don't want to be taking each other out, but yeah, we will we'll monitor.
Yep, and to be honest, just touching back on the pits, Luke's pit entry was fantastic.
Oh, 100%.
And you do. Because of the way that the pit enters, the walls are close and it's quite a sharp turn. The more you can attack that, you're just gaining buckets of time on people who are too intimidated to do it. So you might gain an extra couple of seconds before you've even had to do anything in the pits, just from how you enter. Yeah. So we'll see the gap. Right now he's looking. To be honest, I think he's quite easily P2.
Yeah, agreed.
But we'll see what the gap he's able to do to Spence Rob, but Spence Rob is still putting in incredible times, 33.8 last lap. So we will monitor it. It doesn't look like any of the front runners are coming in just yet.
Nope.
And to be honest, we might not see them for another 5 or so minutes. but they will be wanting to keep an eye on Francis's times, because if he starts setting in incredible times, you need to get in and cover him off.
Yeah, just touching on the comment from Ike Guy. Is the undercut the way here? Are we sure? As Mark has just put, yes, absolutely. I mean, the other thing to think about is your initial run in the car. You're going to need to try and look at the pressures your car is showing, and if it's not quite set perfectly, you're going to be losing a little bit of lap time. Granted, it's only going to be a couple of tenths, depending on how badly you screwed it up. But at the same time, like, because the fact that you got the undercut, you're more than likely going to be running into that clear air anyway. And on top of that, because the pit lane is the way that it is, there's a lot of time that can be lost and gained by the way that you enter it and exit it. Your outlap has to be absolutely pristine. If you can really keep it together, you can gain a crazy amount of time. And we're going to see that when those at the front do box. So I think at the time of when Francis boxed, I think Reese was ahead of James Mead in P2 by, what was it, like 7 seconds, I think?
Thereabouts. 7.5, I think.
Yeah, so we'll see at the point of when Reese Spence Rob comes out of the pits, where is he in relation to Luke Francis, what the gap is there. I suspect it's probably going to still be around about 6.5 seconds maybe, because Reese is driving insanely quickly. He's still lapping faster than what Luke is currently doing. In fact, yeah, he's not going to gain at all. He's going to lose because the pace that Reese is chucking down is just mental.
However, this is the lap now that we'll see if he's actually able to gain upon Mead. Now, as I say, he might have already gained a bit because of how well he done that pit entry. So Mead will have to do it the same. He will, or better. He will need to make sure that his pit entry is great. Yeah. But this is the lap now. He's had one push lap, and this will be the lap where we will see tires should be up to temperature. They should be into pressure. Can he start closing down that gap to Mead?
Matt Lazelle is the first driver out of the top 10, well, the remaining top 10, should I say, to get himself into the pits. It's decided now's the time. 32 minutes to go. It could be a big deal. I'll have to wait and see later. But there is a bit of a scrap going on. The only real battle that's happening is between Seredy and Chris Vining, who are, again, as I say, teammates, both driving that GTR, the Dive Bomb Datsun. I like that name. I think that's probably my favourite one out of a lot of them. I think Category 5 Huracan is probably the next best one.
You are forgetting, however, the Audi, which is fantastic. Lord of the Rings.
Oh, yeah, okay. Oh, Vining's in. Okay, Vining is in. He's decided.
And that was also a good entry from Vining.
Yeah, and he wasn't 1 mile per hour over the speed limit like I was. Did you hear about that?
Yeah.
Did you hear how my race went down?
I did not.
So I sped in the pit lane by 1 mile per hour, and that gave me a 5-second penalty. I mean, speeding is speeding.
Oh, no.
And I crossed the line P1, finished P4.
Sadly, I wasn't all-knowing at you there. It looks like one of the Mercedes, I think that was Black, teleported into the pits as Chris Vining was getting into his spot, and the pit stop for Black was right in front of Vining, and he slammed on the brake and couldn't see when he was supposed to be coming to his pit stop, so that's cost him time. Through no fault of his own. That is very upsetting. I was keeping an eye on his pit stop to see, and then the Mercedes just plumped in front of him. So that is upsetting. But he's now coming out. We'll see where he feeds in. Francis is going to be well clear.
The task.
I'm looking at the times that Francis is putting in now, and Mead needs to. Mead is now going to be behind, well behind. Which we kind of expected, but yeah, it's now about a second a lap. Still, as the little race dude just said, halfway, but still a long way to go. So Mead can definitely fight this back, but he's going to be losing a lot of time in the pits now.
Oh, 100%. I mean, he's actually... Francis is now lapping faster than race leader, who has been lapping faster than anyone ever on this track. So, great to see that Luke Francis is finding that pace. He's looking like he's going to get himself back into P2 quite comfortably. Actually have quite a sizable gap as well. It's just where is Mead gonna come out in relation to all this? I feel like the undercut is just so strong, especially if you can do it pretty early on.
Yeah.
And we are seeing more and more people coming into the pits. So Serity's in, Max Trainer is also in. These guys, well, actually, we can see how Chris Vining's pit stop went in comparison to his teammate Serity.
Yeah, we'll see. It looks like, again, probably just because of the pace of this outlap, he's going to be gaining a lot of time. Serity's coming out now, but he's far too late.
Yeah.
He's going to be losing so much time on Chris Vining. And again, he could have gained a lot of time based on how well he attacked it, but he definitely lost time due to the Mercedes teleporting in front of him. I think there was a little bit of a code brown when that happened.
Yeah, that's the thing.
I mean, as it would.
Use that as a demonstration, right? If Chris Vining can still gain that amount of time and he didn't actually enter his pit box as well as he probably should have done, that is an indication of just how important the undercut is here. You got to get it right.
Yep. And to be honest, Spence Robb, I don't think, is in a position where he's just like, I need to worry. But Mead, he should be well aware that he is now no longer P2.
Yeah. And the fact that they're still not in, you know, with 27 minutes to go, or 28 minutes to go, shall we say, in this race, that none of them have actually come into the box yet. This is not a good sign for them. Let me tell you that now. This is a huge chance for Luke Francis. I mean, I want to say it, but it's not happening. It's not happening. I want to say that Luke Francis is on for a potential win here, but unless Spence Robb completely fluffs his pit stop somehow, which I'm actually going to go cockpit because I've got a feeling he's coming in this lap.
I'm actually really surprised that Rosendahl didn't come in, because Rosendahl was in the perfect opportunity to do the undercut. And he hasn't, and he's now still sitting there without any... Was he speeding?
No.
Please no.
The opposite. It was really slow. They had a good run through the corner, but when it came to the braking for the pit speed limit line, he broke really early, and actually had engaged it pretty early too, so... This is important for Luke Francis here. Again, he's still quite the way around the track, but you know, it's a long pit stop. It also depends to see just how well Spence Robb went into his pit box, which I didn't see actually. Let's quickly go back 20 seconds, see if I can... Oh, no, I can't see it. Never mind, we're not going to be able to see how well he does. But James Mead will be your race leader for now. A 34.4 is the lap time that James Mead did previous lap. Luke Francis did a 34.0 previous lap. Our race leader obviously was an in lap, so it's going to be way off, but he was lapping around about the same as what Luke Francis is doing anyway, so let's see. Where is our leader? Or what was the leader? He's on his way out now, so yeah, he's fine.
He is on his way out, but he's been caught. Francis is there. Francis is coming. So that gap they had was about what was it, an 8 second or so? That's came down a bit. But again, like the pace that Spence Robb had was incredible. So we weren't expecting him to be beaten. He was still lapping so fast, consistent with what Luke Francis was doing. So it was all about the pits. But now that looks to be actually it's still about an 8 second. It looked like it was going to be a little bit closer than that. But yeah, so Spence Robb is still sitting pretty. But the gap between Mead and Spence Robb was around 10 seconds. So Francis is at least 2 seconds clear. And yep, he is in. But yeah, he's absolutely lost this P2.
And by a lot as well.
Yeah.
I don't see how Mead is going to have any shot at retracting this. I mean, again, 25 minutes remaining of this race. Who knows? Mead could just suddenly find out that he's god tier and just start checking in mid 33s, because last lap from Francis was a 34.4. So if Mead starts to just become ultra quick fast boy, then you may see him recover and actually push his way through. It's where Mead is. He's still sat in the pits pending him being dropped. He's away. He's now starting to go. There is Luke Francis coming into the final corner. Yeah, he will be P2. There's no doubt about it.
And the Spence Rob is already well clear, well through. So look at the huge amount of time that Mead has lost just from doing those extra laps. Francis came in like 13 minutes ago.
Yeah.
So huge undercut. And
4 seconds ish, I think.
Looks maybe about five or so. We'll see when it pops up. 5.7.
Yeah, 5.7. Bear in mind, when Luke Francis came into the pits, he was about half a second or so behind James Mead. He's gained 5 and a bit. Mount Dello drive through, but he's gained 5 and a bit seconds on James Mead. So, with 23 minutes remaining, Mead is going to need to chuck in some phenomenal lap times to be in with a shot of actually attacking him. And this goes to show, like, for those of you that are, you know, either racing in the NA races later on or just bearing this in mind for the next time you're racing on Misano, which has got a special event coming up in OR for Misano, bear in mind, a nice 8-hour-long race. Undercut is phenomenal here. Absolutely phenomenal. If you are the person who's having the undercut performed on you, box immediately. Do not delay. Get in the pits. Yes, you're going to lose a bit of time, but you're cutting your losses. You're not going to be in the same position that James Mead is in, which is now up to 6 seconds down on somebody who was behind you at the point of when they boxed.
Yeah, and right now, if you look at just the numbers and just being like, well, I've gained, 6 seconds on the guy in front, like, every single person who's came in, like, early has gained so much time. I mean, like, Vining's still 5.5 seconds in front of Saturday. And they were, nip and tuck as well.
Yeah.
And again, Vining, as we said, did not have a good pit entry because of the teleporting Mercedes. So, yeah, these guys, it was very clear in the last race that the undercut was the way. And it looks like a lot of these guys were not told how powerful the undercut is.
Yeah. I mean, Rosendahl is kind of the only opposing person towards it because he did box later than Mead and actually comes out ahead of him. So I think it's that there was a combination there of how much Rosendahl was better than James Mead going into the pits, but at the same time, regardless of that, Francis was just so better off. It is really, really important here. So, 6.4 seconds is Luke Francis's gap currently to Rosendahl behind him. Lap times, Luke Francis, 34.2. Our race leader, which will be again in a second until it is passed by Respers Rob, 34.5. So Luke Francis still has pace, but the gap is just too big. It's a 6 point. No, I think it's even higher than that, isn't it? Isn't it like an 8 point something lap gap? 8.3, I think that says, between Spence Rob and Luke Francis.
8.9 on my screen, but yeah. It's like that last lap, 33.6 from Spence Rob. Like you cannot catch him. As I said at the start, he looks like he's going to be untouchable today, and he is proving to be that.
Yeah. Unsurprisingly. But still, a beautiful P2 here for Luke Francis. It's huge for him that can happen. And we're going to have a nice little beautiful punch out for P3. I mean, hopefully we're not robbed like we were in the last race.
Yep. And it's like, to be honest, it's good to see Rosendahl back up and on the podium because, the losing the podium was not his fault, but this one would be if Mead was able to make the move stick there. But ran off the road a little bit there under braking. Manages to maintain the position. But as we say, he was kind of ran off the road from by Hussein, and that just cost him positions. So it's good to see him back up to where he started. We'll see how this battle develops because Mead has looked very pacey during this race.
Where were we last week?
I mean, I've been in the house the entire time. Lockdown and all that,
Are you trying to tell me that your memory's worse than mine? Because I'm pretty sure it's not. Mine is next level horrific. I want to say Kyalami.
Yes, Kyalami. I was like, I can remember King Corner, but I was like, cannot remember. Like,
oh yeah, King Corner. That was phenomenal. And then he died.
Yeah. Well, he died multiple times, but, you know.
I forgot about King Corner. That was a brilliant corner. I'm so glad that you reminded me of that, because I'm going to remember that every time we go there again.
Yep. It's, to be honest, it was so impressive. Just how well he done. Yeah.
2 cars, 1 corner, and you could make a film out of that. Probably wouldn't be a legal film, but you could definitely make a film out of it.
Top 5 films of all time.
That's a definite clip-worthy moment, 100%.
Scenes just, honestly, I thought he was about to tap butts with the Mercedes, but yeah, he's had a race to forget, really.
Yep, really has. I mean, it's been sad for a couple of people. I mean, Serity pulled himself back in this. Yeah.
Benegeki.
F in chat indeed. Yeah, Hussein, rough. He had a really good qualifying. I think he was P4, if I remember correctly. Could be wrong. P4, P5's area.
P4. Yes, he's
P4. And then
P4.
one tiny little boo-boo. And by tiny I mean it ended up being pretty huge. Massive penalty. Big damage. One accident that wasn't his fault. And yeah, this is definitely something he will want to block out of his memory bank forever. And just pray that it gets together. But James Mead as well. Them two are fighting still. Rosendahl and James Mead.
Yep, up from P6 was James Mead. Great start from him. Ran P3 for a lot of this race. He still has potential to get that that position back. He is only, you know, a few tenths behind Rosendahl, and this fight looks like it could continue for the remaining 17 minutes, all the way to the checkered flag.
I think James will be kicking himself. Honestly, I know I would be if I was in his shoes. The undercut, obviously showing how strong it is. It's next level. You can't not do it. And he left himself out there way too long. Ran himself on the tyres far too long, and now he's not really lapping as fast as he needs to be. I reckon it's a combination of the fact that he's stuck behind Rosendahl and the fact that he is in dirty air. But regardless, you've got to be under control of that situation. You've got to read this stuff and be aware, you know.
Yeah, I mean, again, it depends how much they were paying attention to the last race, because it was very, very clear in the last race that you should do the undercut. I imagine they keep an eye on it while they're doing their warm-up, but yeah, right now the undercut has been king. Everyone has benefited from it who came in early, and realistically speaking, those that stayed out the only person that stayed out and benefited was Rosendahl, but he also only benefited on someone else who stayed out, so
yeah,
it's not really
and
a good
they fluffed up their entry.
Yeah.
Yep,
not really a good measure, but at the same time, like, it's now put Rosendahl back into the podium position, and it is leading us to a potential good fight for the final podium position in this race.
Still 15.5 minutes to go before the end of this race, but I do want to kind of get a feeler out there for who you guys think deserves driver of the day in this race. For me, I don't know. I mean, it's boring to go for the race leader, but he has literally not put a foot wrong. I think Luke Francis had a rough start to the race. Not the worst, but definitely not the best. Did end up finding himself behind, but he reacted perfectly. His strategy call was incredible. He brought himself back up into P2 as a result, and he's very clear ahead of the guys behind him. Rosendahl, very good drive so far, bringing himself up into P3. James Mead climbing up those places. All of these people are very good contenders. Chris Vining, somebody else who had a rough start to the race, did kind of get screwed over a little bit. But has fought his way back through, and he's back up to P5. Yeah, granted, he's not probably going to get any more than that unless there's any drive-throughs ahead or a big collision, but still, really good recovery.
I agree with the chat, though. I think the driver of the day has to be the Wah car.
Oh no. Okay, your opinion's been null and voided.
My right to vote has been removed.
Your human right has been stripped from you for choosing the bloody safety car.
I think, in all seriousness, you know, there's been a lot of drivers out there that have done really well. Vining, I'm, you know, very impressed with how he's managed to come back through the field.
Yeah.
I think Rosendahl, again, he's made the inverse strategy work. Well, again, I think he should have pitted earlier, like, than Francis even, and go for it. He could have been in it fighting for a P2. To be honest, I think the one person who's done everything right, realistically, is Francis. You know, he came in early, he got the undercut, he's been showing really, really good pace and consistency. He's just doing really well. Spence Robb, yes, he built up a big buffer and he could afford to wait it out and didn't need to come in. In the end, the gap that he saw from when Francis came into the pit was huge. It was absolutely huge. So Spence Robb could have also pitted into that same spot and not, like, he would have been in clear air and had the exact same advantages that Francis had. And he didn't do it. And that's the only real mistake he's made all day. But it hasn't cost him, as we just see, who's that, Winigeki missing his braking and going for a little trip to play in the sand.
Ooh. And he's struggling with the rear on the exit as well.
Yeah. But yeah, I think for me right now, Francis is my driver of the day. Spence Robb, he's been great, but he did make a slight tactical error. But he had the buffer, so he could afford to do it.
Yeah. I mean, strategy-wise, yeah, absolutely. Francis nailed it. Could not have got it any more perfect if he tried. I think the only reason he's not race leader is because Spence Robb is just that quick. But yeah, I would agree. I'm inclined to say Francis is driver of the day. But there's still 12 minutes remaining in this race, so anything can still happen. James Mead could pull off an absolute monster overtake on Rosendahl. We've already seen Rosendahl running wide, coming in towards the hairpin in the middle of the circuit. So you can't ever rule any of these guys out. And James Mead has actually been roasting me in my streams for lifting through that left-hander thing. I've just seen him lift, calling me a pussy. So I mean, maybe it's my turn to retaliate.
To be fair, he's not wrong, just even if he's admitting that he's also a pussy.
That's true. That's true. I mean, the thing is, in the race, I was lifting every single lap, so I cannot complain. I think maybe one lap I didn't, and then I got a warning for it. So it's just the trade-off you get for being that little bit faster. Like we're talking like it's 2/10 maybe. Like he's there, he's lifted again there. He's actually going to lose out a lot of time down here because of that lift that he did there. It's the timing of it all. If you lift late, you're going to be in big trouble. But if you lift early, you can actually gain a fair bit. It's just all about making sure you time it perfectly, and yeah. If you're top 5 in a grid of 30s, would undercut be recommended? In low temps, there's little to no grip there, can't risk it in the race. I assume that's regarding the fast corner where you don't lift you were referring to for the last 2 lines. But the first line, if you're top 5 in a grid of 30s, would undercut be recommended? I mean, obviously each race is situational. It's about reading the track, reading the grid, and going, is this worthwhile? The best thing you could do is have a look at the when you're going. So like now, for example, look where Mead is on the track. This is the pit entry here, right? So if you kind of see car, what number is that? 72 is that? 72 yep. Is Max Trainer. So where Max Trainer is now, if there's any cars about there, you're gonna end up meeting him. Does that make sense? So if you're just about to come into the pit lane and there's somebody coming through the hairpin, hopefully my mouse will show on the screen here for you guys. Try this. Nope.
Good effort.
Right, I'm gonna try it anyway. You see my mouse? Yes, sir. No, can't do it. Anyway, there's like a straight in the out of turn 5, turn 6. What car is that? 14. Where car 14 is right now, Rosendahl. If there's a car about there, you're going to meet them. So it's basically making sure that you are reading the track, reading the situation. Don't allow yourself to get caught up in an area you don't really want to be in. Because if you box at that point, you're going to lose time. You're going to be stuck in traffic. Yes, you'll be on better tyres and you'll be that bit faster. But you're only going to be faster if you get past them. So if you find a gap, like now, if you're whoever is coming through now into the pit lane, now's the perfect time.
Yeah, if Spencer Robb, he could pit and get plenty of clear air.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, Rosendahl's made a mistake. Oh, Mead going for a big boy send down the inside and the hairpin. That was a massive move. I want to watch that again. I'm going to watch it again. I don't care. I'm going to watch it again. He's going into the fast right-hander. Braking zone just so much better for Mead. Wow. What an absolute beast overtake. Rosendahl getting a little bit squirrely. And Mead just flies on it. What a send from Mead.
Yeah, that was very good. And once again, Mr. Peabody, your prediction is up.
Did he get it perfect?
Yep. Spencer Robb Francis
No
Mead
way.
was what he said. Which is why I said that at the start we needed to burn him as a witch.
Mr. Peabody. The wisest of wisest people. What's the
But yeah, Rosendahl is not out of this just yet. He can definitely make the move again. Also, I've got to imagine his name comes from the Portal 2.
Oh my god! I never even put 2 and 2 together.
I'm guessing. I'm not sure.
I'm genuinely blown away. He never crossed. I was like, I know that name. Why do I know? I was thinking Peanut Body or something like that. But no, you're probably right.
Like the Peabody is not like from Portal 2, but the spelling like that is the Portal 2 thing.
Yeah.
The Mr. Peabody is like an actual like kids thing, but like the Portal 2, one of the bots is Peabody.
Yeah, I remember the oval one, not the round one.
Yeah, the round one's
Atlas.
Atlas.
Yeah,
Atlas.
I've completed that game so many times, and every single time I play it, I get more and more excited.
It's so good.
It's
Another drive-through for Wanageki. He's having a hell of a day.
Yeah. Very unfortunate. 3 laps down.
Oh wait, I've actually Mr. Peabody's just put the chat back in. He's just messaged back in the chat, and I can actually see his display picture now, and his display picture is actually the children's person. So never mind, it's not Portal 2.
All right. Cool. Now I feel less like an idiot. That's fine. This battle for P3 though. I mean, James Mead did a big boy send, and that did allow him to get up into P3. But Rosendahl looks like he's genuinely looking still pretty consistent and pacey, so we can't even rule that out. This could still go any which way, and I'm gonna say it because it happened last race, and it is still absolutely possible. You reckon they'll give me a drive-through for Spencer up for track limits?
And it looked like he might have got a warning there. He went so wide.
Can you imagine the scenes if 2 races in a row are dictated by a drive-through penalty for race leader?
That would be unbelievable.
I ain't got enough keyboards.
Unbelievable kickers.
I don't have enough keyboards to handle that. I'm not gonna lie.
Do you have enough rum?
My glass is empty. I didn't refill it because I'm on a reserve keyboard.
Can't be drinking rum round the reserves.
Exactly. I've got a jar of dirt.
As we said earlier in this race, though, Christoph Holzer, yes, made the mistake at the start, but he could still potentially move up and get some points. And he is right in a battle to get some points, as it looks like Traynor is trying to make the move on Tillett in front of him. But right behind all this, Christoph Holzer keeping an eye as they touch, and it now opens the door for Christoph Holzer, and he moves up to P8.
Oh, Max. And the thing is, Christoph Holzer and Max Traynor are endurance teammates for the endurance series. They'll be starting on the 4th of September. Quick plug, go and get signed up. You need to do it right now. So Christoph will be happy and sad that he's witnessed that, because that's on Max. Unfortunately, stewards will almost certainly be giving Max a bit of a spanking for that one. But I don't blame him for going for the try. Just not good. And Hussein's day goes even worse.
Yeah. Hussein is going to want to forget this track exists.
Oh, Rosendahl, don't play my heartstrings like that. He hit the inside of that fast right-hander a bit too much, bounced, and I guarantee you... In fact, can we quickly watch it? Will we see it in time? Let's go in cockpit and watch the wheel as it comes through, and then... Boom. Oh! The reaction speeds are insane. He has the fastest hands in the land, hands down. Wow.
I mean, I don't think he should put his hands down. He should probably keep them on the wheel.
Well, yeah, that's a good shot. And we've lost him. Where did he get? Oh no, we just got a beautiful camera angle.
Ah, yes. Having a look though through the rest of the field for fights. Rosendahl obviously still potentially fighting for a podium position, and Delo is catching up to the back of Christoph Holzer, wanting to take that PA off him.
Yeah, I mean, both these guys, good guys, personality-wise, drivers, also good guys as well. A couple of issues here and there when it comes to that consistency side of things. We already talked about that in the past. So, this could go either which way. But, yeah, we've got a nice couple of juicy battles to take us through the final 3 minutes, just under. And also, Cameron Farmer is here. Hello, mate. How are you doing?
That penalty for trainer has came through already. The steward's on top of that. Yeah, I actually want to touch on Christoph Holzer for a moment. It still blows my mind that he plays on a controller.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yep. How do you do that?
Because he's mental. Race control button not working? No. Basically, Cameron, there is a... Or Cam, even. My bad. If you didn't see race 1, you missed out on a mental race. Absolutely phenomenal race. So much so, I got overexcited and accidentally knocked my drink over my keyboard, which then closed almost everything down. ACC got closed down, the broadcast controller got shut down, the race control bot thingy got shut down as well as PitLink. The only thing that was running was the stream. So, luckily that didn't get stopped at any point, and that's why you're able to see the content. I then, as a result of that, I've completely fucked my keyboard. It is... it might be rescuable tomorrow, which I will find out. But I'm on a reserve keyboard right now that I had lying around, and it is minging. So, birthday keyboard being ordered tomorrow, I think.
Yep, I think so. Tweet yourself.
Tweet myself.
But yeah, just go back and watch it, Cam, because
yeah,
I think that is the best race we have ever seen.
Ever. Not even kidding.
The scenes that, like, literally the booth was just me and Raggy screaming for about 5 minutes.
And we broke protocol afterwards. It was that good. We broke protocol to go and interview the driver because it was that good. So
we forced them in to chat with us.
Not even sorry. Final lap of the race. Respence Rob has started it off, and with this battle for P3 is closer than it's been for a little while. Rosendahl will start to get quite desperate. We're going to go into cockpit cam for the final lap to see how this one goes down. There's a back marker ahead of both of these guys who needs to get out of the way ASAP. I can't see who that is. I think it's... Oh, it's a Ferrari. Oh, it's two of them.
It's Silicons and... no, wait.
Trainer. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, there was two.
Yeah, and Trainer, who's a bit further up the field as well. 5 minutes is all Raggy needs. I need less than that. That's me.
Oh, yeah. Oh no, did you just break it again? Oh. Good lord.
I'm now holding my microphone because my mic stand just broke, so you're gonna have to bear with me. Everything's crumbling, but the fight still continues. The timer will hit 0. Our race leader is so much further ahead than everybody else. 15, almost 16 seconds, and this battle for P3 is not over. It's just not.
I'm sorry, I'm laughing so. Oh,
do I need help? I need more than help. I'll show you afterwards what's happened. Just pay attention to the race. We're nearly at the end.
Oh God, I love
day.
being in the booth with you. It's so destructive.
It's all crumbled. But Reese Spence Rob, round the final corner, will take the victory. A very well-deserved run. Absolutely phenomenal. Luke Francis is somewhere further ahead.
He's actually just right in front of this battle with Mead, so they've been caught up. So it's like battle for P2.
Yeah.
Francis, Mead, and Rosendahl. Francis, I think, got really held up in those back markers, but it does finish as is. Francis, Mead, and Rosendahl all cross the line. And to be honest, what a race from those guys. And Mr. Peabody, you get the Brownie Award for protecting Spence, Rob, Francis, and Mead as your podium sitters.
Yep. 100% accurate prediction from him. That's mental. Right. I'm going to show you.
Mr. Peabody's correct, though. It's like, thank God there isn't a third race because Raggy's house would burn down.
Honestly. All right, are you watching?
Yeah.
Here we go. So I'm having to hold my microphone right now because of how broken my situation is. Basically, the cable's getting caught now. Come on, round you come. Right. So these microphones have a clamp that normally sits on the bottom of this thing. Okay. On my desk, which is just a cheap, shitty IKEA desk, you can see the edge of it is peeling away. Right, it's coming away.
You know, can I just can I point out that when I said that you should be like Chris Rock from Fifth Element, I didn't mean you should be going around walking with the microphone on his stick.
But yeah, basically the actual thing itself was like really far out, and so I just pushed it forwards to try and get it close up against the desk, and it just dropped. The whole lot just fell. So here's the bottom bit, and the metal bar that was holding it up as well is also completely on the floor. So I'm gonna need to do some emergency desk repairs or something to try and fix this, because I can't stream like this tomorrow, that's for sure. But luckily, that's the end of the actual race itself. So, wow. I think if you haven't already hit the like button, for just the sheer pain that I've gone through tonight with my setup and breaking my keyboard and my microphone just crumbling on me as well, and also the insane race that we saw in race 1, and even race 2 had all the action as well. I think you definitely need to click that like button, and again, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already as well. So, thank you everybody who tuned in. Go and make sure you sign up for the Endurance Series if you haven't already. You only need one teammate. It's only 3-hour races for 4 races in a row once every month. So go and sign up. Get it easy peasy, free of charge. Why not, right? Every single region in the world has a split you can get involved in. So do it. And obviously, OOR will be back again later this evening. If you are an EU person, if you're NA, in the evening will still be soon. I think it's literally in an hour or two, maybe slightly less than that. So go and get involved. Badger, thank you as always for commentating with me. I love commentating with you. Genuinely, it is always a laugh every single time.
I love being the source of your chaos.
Yes, yes, literally chaos. My keyboard is unplugged right here because of how I gotta. That's a repair job for the morning, and I gotta use this piece of beautiful keyboard right here. And I'm 31 in an hour. So have a good night. Sleep tight. Don't let bedbugs bite. Click the subscribe button. Love you too. Bye.